Game 1 of today's day-night split doubleheader against the Lowell All-Americans, 9-2 the final. The Newport Gulls now get set to return to Southern Division action for the remainder of this regular season. 3 games remain, the first of them here tonight. All 3 will be played at Cardines Field as the Gulls finish up the season with a 7-day homestand. Newport Gulls take on the Manchester Silkworms tonight. Good evening, I'm Nick Leamer on the NACBL Broadcast Network. Newport Gulls baseball coming your way next. Stay tuned, the pregame show is next as the Gulls take on the Silkworms for the final time this season. This is Newport Gulls baseball on the NACBL Broadcast Network. And welcome back here at Cardines Field. Now time for the Gulls Eye View. We're joined today by Newport Gulls closer Dan Mahoney. Dan, how you doing?
Not too bad, Nick. How are you?
I'm doing fine. The Newport Gulls, with an impressive victory in Game 1 today, took advantage of 15 Lowell All-American walks and played a bunch of runs in the 6th inning. 7 runs scored in that inning as Newport defeated Lowell 9-2, earning the 4th victory of the season for Chase Reed. Overall, a solid victory for Newport.
Yeah, Chase has been throwing the ball pretty well, and kind of helps when they give you 15 free passes and you're able to capitalize. So
the Newport Gulls are now just 1 game out of first place for the moment in the NECBL Southern Division, as the Pittsfield Dukes are also playing a doubleheader of their own today. They'll face the Manchester Silkworms for the 6th and final time this season.
Yeah, we've been playing well recently, and so hopefully we can get that game and beat these guys tonight and keep the ball rolling.
Now, Dan, is this your first time in the Newport area?
Yeah, it is. It's been a fun summer so far, and hopefully we can stick around for an extra week or so.
As the closer for the Newport Gulls, you often have to come into the game in very tight situations. What's it like getting the call to come out there? Is it stressful for you, or do you just come out relaxed?
To tell you the truth, it's just I just run on adrenaline and don't really think about much out there, and just try and throw the ball as hard as I can and blow everyone away.
I've seen you change speeds pretty often with the fastball and breaking ball. Well, what kind of pitches do you have in your selection?
Fastball, curveball, and somewhat of a change. That hasn't really been perfected yet.
So what does that fastball top off at?
I don't know. I haven't been told, but hopefully it just keeps rising.
So Dan Mahoney, the Newport Gulls just have 3 games left here in the regular season. All of them will be at home, so I'm sure the guys in the dugout and in the bullpen overall have to be very happy to have a 7-day homestand here at the end of the season.
Yeah, we had a tough road stretch there, and good to be home, and we can enjoy Newport for a little longer and not take those long bus rides. So.
All right, Dan Mahoney, thank you for joining us here in the Gulls Eye View, and good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you, Lima.
That's the Gulls Eye View. Newport Gulls pregame show continues next on the NACBL Broadcast Network. Back here now at Cardines Field. Now time for the front office report, joined by Newport Gulls General Manager Chuck Paver. Chuck, how are you doing?
How are we doing, Nick?
I'm doing okay. The Newport Gulls have won now 3 straight, trying to sweep their 3rd doubleheader of the season. First, let's go back to the game in Torrington. The Newport Gulls swept that doubleheader. A couple outstanding pitching performances from spot starts from Stephen Peterson and Jeff Brown. And the Gulls, surprisingly, swept the Torrington Twisters 6-0 this season.
Well, Torrington has always traditionally been a very competitive baseball team. I'm not sure exactly what's going on there in Torrington, but they have had difficulty this year. And right now, I think, is when they're struggling. But, right now also, this team is just starting to turn it around and start playing like they're capable of playing. So we're turning that corner when we need to, and I'm afraid that Torrington's gone the other direction. But you never know. In any given day in this league, you can beat anybody.
Newport Gulls offense has really been starting to pick it up the last couple weeks. Quite a few multiple double-digit hit games for Newport, including a 19-hit game against Danbury and a couple 14-hit games thereafter. Newport just about in the league lead, and as far as team batting average is concerned, some of the offensive leaders have included Alex Gregory out of Radford University, who has really had an outstanding season for Newport. He's just 4 shy of the league record for runs batted in and leads the NECBL in RBI and in home runs with 8.
Well, I've talked to you about this before, Nick, and I've said this all along, that this team is awfully offensive. They can be as good as any team anywhere. What's going to make a difference for this team is how the pitching staff holds out and then how the defense plays. The defense is playing good baseball right now. We're okay there. We just got to get continued good pitching like we've been getting, and it's the right time to start doing that.
Newport Gulls defensively have committed 3 consecutive errorless ball games, in fact, until Mike Tamsin had an error that was not costly at all later on in the first game this afternoon. Overall, Newport Gulls offense has really just been outstanding, as you mentioned. Kyle Conley has been another good offensive hitter. Late pickup for the Newport Gulls. It wasn't originally expected that he would come here, as he was draft eligible and was drafted in the 16th round. He opted not to sign. Came into Newport late. Had a slow start, but has really picked it up here in July. Second on the team in RBIs. Tied for third in the league in runs batted in, and also tied for second in the league in home runs. He's had 7 home runs in the month of July.
You know, we knew Kyle. We had Kyle all along. I had him coming here in the fall. We met with him in Seattle, Chris Patsos and I. And he was right. He was up front with us and frank, and he said, listen, if it's not a certain amount of money, I'm going to come to Newport. If it's good enough money, I'll probably sign. He was right up front with us. Throughout the whole process, he was up front with us. And once he got here, he started slow. And I told everybody, I said, this kid is a different player. He can play at a different level. Just give him a chance. Don't give up on him. And now he's showing what he's capable of doing. He's scary every time he gets up.
Chase Reed just picked up his 4th win of the season in 4 starts. Never intended to be a starter for the Newport Gulls. Came here as a reliever. And came in a spot start on July 4th. Had that 19 strikeout game and has been dominant ever since.
Chase Reed has stretched it out. He got an opportunity like most of these kids get. You know, if they get an opportunity, if they can capitalize, they stay in. If they don't do well, then what happens? Somebody else is going to bump them. Chase Reed has good stuff. He's been waiting for this opportunity. When we put together this team, Chris Patsos and I both said, you know, this kid will probably be one of the main guys. And he didn't start out that way. He had to bridge the closer gap. He can close for us. But once he got a chance to start, end result, 9 innings, 19 strikeouts.
No surprising starter for the Newport Gulls, who has pitched very effectively, has been Jared Prince, though he's had been scrubbed a couple times. Was originally slated to start in Game 2 here this afternoon, but has been hit off the head last week. He still needs a couple days of rest.
That's correct. Jared, I just spoke to him a couple minutes ago. He's getting better, but he's just not quite right. When he starts to feel dizzy is when he exercises. So that's what the trainer has advised, just to take your time until you feel okay. So we got a little longer to go.
Newport Gulls, for the 8th consecutive time since moving to Newport, will be in the postseason. Game 1 of the NECBL playoffs will begin here on Saturday at Cardines Field at 6:35. Against who? Well, that's going to be determined. Could be Torrington, Manchester, or North Adams. And Newport still is not out of the race for first place yet in the NECBL Southern Division, but the Gulls franchise has to be happy to be back in the playoffs again.
Well, you know, yes, we're very happy. We never take anything for granted. But we expect them to get to the playoffs. We work hard at putting together a group of kids that we think could be good players and good kids, and that's their goal. And that's our goal, is to get them into the playoffs, and this team buys into it like all these other teams, and we're very fortunate.
Pittsfield Dukes are now just 1 game ahead of the Newport Gulls in the South. Pittsfield playing a doubleheader today. They have a few more games left than Newport does, so the Gulls will need a little bit of help if they are to try and retake the Southern Division lead before the season comes to an end. It looks like it may come right down to the wire on Thursday against Pittsfield here at Cardines.
That's quite possible, Nick. You know, this team, all they have to do is worry about their own business. Go out and play every game like it's their last game. Take 1 game at a time, and then when you get to the playoffs, it's a whole different story. Anybody can beat anybody in a 2 short games, 3-game series. You know, and hopefully we got everything going in the right direction when you need to do that. You've seen us before, Nick. I mean, our successful years, we have really picked it up towards the end of the season, except for 2006 when we won 10 in a row right at the end. And then we got into the playoffs, and I think we ran out of steam real quick. Or ran against a couple good pitchers, which can, like I said, any team can win in a 2-game series.
Newport Gulls have lost Kenny Socorro, at least for the time being. He had to head back home for a wedding family reunion, but Cody Grisham has returned, been reactivated by the Gulls. He's started now 3 straight games at shortstop. He's been playing some outstanding defense, especially in Torrington. A couple of great plays on Saturday. Of course, Newport Gulls an off day yesterday. Earlier this afternoon, doubleheader, Grisham was effective offensively as well with 3 hits, and Newport's happy to have him back.
Absolutely. I mean, we got to a point where we lost guys. We knew we had to find somebody, and Chris and I were on the phone for 2 or 3 days looking at options, trying to find the right guy for this club. And I was driving somewhere. I might have been even running, I'm not sure. But I thought to myself, Cody, I remember his class is just about to end. I'm going to give him a call. I said, Chris, let's not make a commitment to anybody. Let me call Cody first. And then I called him, and his class was just ending, and he had to take a final on the following week. And we said, okay, he's the right guy. He's already been here. He's part of our family. Let's get him back here and finish up the season with us. And he was excited to come back, too. So it's a win-win for everybody.
Finally, Coach, the Newport Gulls down to 2 coaches for the remainder of the season as Ray Fuentes received a new coaching position at the University of Miami in Florida, and we wish him the best of luck.
That's correct. Well, we love Ray. We wish him the best of luck, and that's part of what this is all about. We're developing players and we're developing coaches, so that's okay.
All right, Newport Gulls General Manager Chuck Paper, thank you for joining us here in the pregame show, and good luck in tonight's ball game.
Thank you, Nick. Thanks for having me.
The stretch run begins in a little bit here on the ICBL Broadcast Network as our pregame show finishes up. Mike Coombs is next. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back here to Cardines Field as our pregame show continues. Nick Lehman now joined by Gulls manager Mike Coombs. Mike, how you doing?
Good. How are you, Nick?
I'm doing well. The Newport Gulls have now won 3 straight. Let's take it back to North Adams, though, as they were shut out for the first time this season. Face a good pitcher in Tim Boyce as they were shut out 5-0.
Yeah, Boyce was the starting pitcher for the All-Star team, and Tim had control of all 3 pitches, command, and just kept us off balance, and we didn't do very well against him. But you move on, and you hopefully, now that we've seen him, we'll get him again. We'll see him again. So you just hopefully we'll be prepared for him next time.
Newport did rebound on Saturday, sweeping a doubleheader of the Torrington Twisters and sweeping the season series against their rival Twisters 6-0. First game, Stephen Peterson pitched very effectively. Jeff Brown matched that performance in Game 2.
Yeah, both games we played very well. We errorless, and we pitched extremely well and played good defense. Our bats got going a little bit when we needed them to. Didn't hit the cover off the ball, but we did have good pitching performance, and that's what it's all about.
Newport Gulls had a much-needed real off day yesterday, their first true off day for the entire team in more than 3 weeks. Of course, you can't count the rainouts, as the Newport Gulls did get a day of rest. Today's been a long day, though. Summer camp this morning just took a 9-2 victory over the Lowell All-Americans and getting set for Manchester next. The victory over Lowell was pretty solid, though. Newport began the game in the second inning, down 1-0. But fought back, taking advantage of 15 free passes.
Yeah, we battled back, took the pitches in the right spot, swung the bat when we needed to, and Chase Reed threw well. I don't know how many Ks he had.
10 strikeouts for Reed.
10 for Reed. Good, very good, and he just threw the ball very well and kept him off balance. And Quinney came in and shut the door in the ninth, and we were done.
Newport Gulls looked like they were going to drop a game to the Manchester Silkworms at Northwest Park last week. They were down 5-2 heading into the ninth, but the Gulls took advantage of some errant relief pitching by the Silkworms and played a few runs and won it 7-5. Overall, Newport has fared well this season against Manchester, but they still have the ability to come back and bite you.
Yeah, we've given some games away too, so I mean it's a hard thing to do. I know that they were. The wind was knocked out of their sail when that happened to them, but we've done it ourselves, so I know what it feels like, and our kids know what it feels like. And yeah, we came back and had 5 runs, I guess, on no hits, and yeah, that's shining the mirrors up and backing the truck up, kind of on the blind side. You never know about this game of baseball. It can happen so quick.
Newport Gulls will be playing Manchester here in Game 2. Just 3 Southern Division games left, 3 regular season games left overall. The Gulls are just a game out of first place behind the Pittsfield Dukes for the moment, who are playing a doubleheader of their own today. The Gulls will need a little bit of help from Pittsfield. They'll have to lose a couple of their upcoming games if Newport wants to have a shot of defeating Pittsfield here on Thursday night in the regular season finale for the Southern Division lead.
Well, I've always been the type of player, the type of coach that you set your own destiny. You don't worry about anything that they do. If they win, lose, fine. Whatever they do, they do. I don't want any help from anybody other than the players and the coaches and the fans. That's the only help I want. And Pittsfield's going to do whatever Pittsfield's going to do, and that's fine. I just I've never been one to want to get help from somebody to beat somebody or be in that position or go home and pray that this team wins or loses or whatever. But you go out, you set your own destiny. You go out there, and if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. I mean, we squandered some some games early on. We had a 6-game losing streak, and this team here has battled back to be 23-16 right now. I mean, we could have easily folded up and gone home, and we had some injuries. We had some kids leave, but we battled back, and Chuck and Chris given us players and more players. I mean, how about this? How about that? Let's do this, and so we've done that, and we're sitting right where we are, and everything works out for a reason, and the positioning will be there for a reason, and we'll live with it. But you set your own course of navigation when that happens. You don't worry about other clubs and what they're doing. I don't worry. I just worry about the Newport Gulls and what we're doing and how we're playing.
Tom Costigan gets the ball tonight for Newport. He's but settled into long relief roles as of late for the Gulls after beginning the season in the starting rotation. Spot start here in Game 2 of this doubleheader for Costigan.
He's had some tough outings. He hadn't pitched the greatest, but Tommy's a competitor and wants to win bad. He really, he works hard. I see him doing that. I see him in the pen working on the towel drill. He's doing this. He asks me questions. We try to make adjustments, and I'm rooting for the kid big time tonight. I want him to go out there and just have a great time and throw the ball extremely well.
Of course, he does wear your former number 25.
Yeah. I mean, Patsos and I had some words about that. He gave me number 11, my college number, but we were struggling for victories here and there. I said, if you want 25 wins, you better give me 25 back. And he said, well, go rip that off Costigan's back. And we were talking the other night. We went to Fenway, and he says, Coach, you're getting number 25 next year. Really, we're giving that right back. That was a scare, and he was just teasing with me. But you know how us baseball players are. Sometimes we're looking for the edge, and the edge is not on the field. Sometimes it's in the socks if you wear those for 10 straight games, or the shirt that you wear, or what you eat, or it's all kind of neat.
Finally, Coach, the Gulls finally done with road games this season after a long stretch, including a final 2-game road trip against North Adams and Torrington. Home for 7 consecutive days before the playoffs begin, which will be home guaranteed here on Saturday. The Gulls just don't know who they'll face yet.
No. I'm glad to be home and no more road trips right now. We got this whole week. I'm kind of what does a bear do in the winter? He kind of hibernates a little bit. So, we'll get our rest. You get to go home tonight and don't have a bus ride and go home and catch some shut-eye, get up and go to camp. We got 3 more days of camp, so that's a countdown for that also. But, we're good to go. We're cruising right on to the right deal, having a couple days off and playing at home. And so it looks good. We just got to keep it going.
And at 13-5, the Gulls do have the best record in the Southern Division at home. Newport Gulls manager Mike Coombs, thank you for joining us, and good luck in Game 2.
Thanks, Nick, and we want to thank you for your support and what your group does for the Newport Gulls. We appreciate you.
Oh, thank you very much, Coach. We appreciate that as well. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And the Newport Gulls Baseball Broadcasting Network continues next here on the NCBL Broadcast Network. We'll bring you the full pregame show still to come. Don't go away. Starting lineups, much more to come. Newport Gulls baseball comes your way next on the NCBL Broadcast Network. And welcome back once again here to Cardines Field in Newport, Rhode Island, as the Rhode Island National Guard Color Guard crosses the field and will present the colors as we get ready for the national anthem, which will be played here tonight. a soldier in a Rhode Island Army National Guard with a outstanding playing rendition of our national anthem via acoustic guitar amplified on the field. A great rendition as the Newport Gulls get to take on the Manchester Silkworms for the 6th and final time here in the regular season. Newport second place in the ACBO South, just 1.5 game behind the Pittsfield Dukes. The Manchester Silkworms are 7.5 games back of Pittsfield in 4th place and are 2 games ahead of or a game and a half ahead of the Torrington Twisters. Newport leads the season series 4-1, and Mike Lord seen a couple of odd games between Manchester and Newport this season. A 1-0 victory for the Gulls that, a walk-off base hit was won here at Cardines Field by Newport. Then an 11-0 victory by the Newport the next night, completely different ball game. Last time around, the Gulls were able to come back to defeat Manchester, but was not by their doing. Some errant pitching in the 9th inning.
Oh, errant pitching for sure. 3 walks and 3 hit batsmen. And of course the error by the shortstop with the bases loaded, and the Silkworms just unraveled like a roll of textiles as they let a 5-2 lead slip away into a 7-5 loss. And from a momentum standpoint, they went out to Pittsfield the next night and got clobbered out there too. The Silkworms got postponed by rain yesterday. They were slated to play the Torrington Twisters with a golden opportunity to seal the 4th and final playoff spot. They did defeat Danbury 4-0. They scored all 4 runs in the first inning due to a couple of errors by the Westerners, and if it weren't for the brilliant pitching of Brian Pendergast, the Silkworms would have been in trouble because the starting pitcher, Derek Catoni, for the Westerners, who just joined the team, he just shut out the Silkworms for the next 6 innings, and then their relief pitching shut down the Silkworms. So the Silkworms have had too many games where they've only scored in the first inning.
So Newport and Manchester both coming off an off day yesterday. Of course, the Gulls did have a game 1 of this day-night split doubleheader against Lowell. That was a victory earlier on this afternoon, 9-2. And a game that began at 2 o'clock, ended just after 4:15. So the Newport Gulls look to try and sweep their 3rd doubleheader of the season. The first doubleheader was swept here at Cardines Field for game 1 against Keene, game 2 against Manchester, and that 1-0 walk-off win. The other doubleheader came on the road in Torrington just on Saturday. The Gulls took both games in that doubleheader and also swept the season series with the Torrington Twisters 6-0. So the Newport Gulls and Manchester Silkworms get set for baseball. We'll come back with the starting lineups next on the NECBL Broadcast Network. And welcome back here at Cardines Field with the starting lineups for today's ball game here against Mike Lord.
Thank you, Nick. For the Manchester Silkworms, leading off will be the left fielder Mark Mikowski. Batting second, the shortstop A.J. Rosbowski. Batting third, DH and tonight Matt Grasso. Batting cleanup in center field, Michael Gallick. Batting fifth, the right fielder Jeff Cammons. Batting sixth at first base is J.D. Broderick. Batting seventh at second base is Ryan Piacentini. Batting eighth behind the dish, Michael Borden. And batting ninth at third base is Sean O'Hara.
For the Newport Gulls, Cal Rhodes starts in center field. Bats in leadoff. Mike Malone, the catcher, bats second. The designated hitter, Mike Kempson, bats third. And cleanup, it's the first baseman, Alex Gregory. Kyle Connolly, the bats fifth, starts in left field. The third baseman, David Cunningham, bats sixth. In the seventh hole, it's Joey Manning, the right fielder. Second baseman, David Poutier, bats eighth. Cody Grisham's the shortstop, rounding out the order for the Newport Gulls. Starting on the mound tonight will be Jamil Acosta, a left-hander who's 0-1 on the season, making his third start, fifth appearance, a 4.15 ERA for the Downey, California native out of Rio Hondo College. Just finished up his sophomore season. We'll tell you more about Acosta in the last half of the first inning. Starting on the mound for the Newport Gulls is Tom Costigan, the right-hander out of Manhattan College, who just finished up his sophomore season. A 4.94 ERA. He's 3-2 in the season, 10 appearances, 6 of them in long relief. The other 4 starts came at the beginning of the season. This is his first start since the month of June. He's worked 31 innings, allowing 26 hits, 20 runs, 17 of them earned. He's walked 18, struck out 25. 4 doubles, a homer, no homers, 1 wild pitch, 3 hit batters, opponents hitting .226. Off the Cold Spring, New York native, who checks in at 6'3", 205 pounds, again a sophomore out of Manhattan. Umpires for tonight's game, Richard Emerson calling balls and strikes behind the plate. Brian Troop, the field umpire. They switch roles from game 1 of this split doubleheader. Game time temperatures around 74 degrees under sunny skies. A southwest wind blows at 5 to 10 miles per hour from right to left across the field. Should pick up steadily as the game goes on. We had calm conditions for Game 1 earlier this afternoon, in which the Newport Gulls defeated the Lowell Americans 9-2 the final and finished the season at 3-9 in interdivision play. Newport now has won 3 straight games, and with the Pittsfield Dukes loss in Game 1 of their doubleheader earlier this afternoon against Torrington 1-0 in 7 innings, Newport Gulls are now just a half a game out of first place in the NACBL South. Manchester Silkworms is 7.5 games back at 15-22 on the season. Of course, the Northampton Steelcats are 18-21, 6 games out in third place. Newport Gulls are guaranteed second place in the NACBL South. There just aren't enough games left for the Northampton Steelcats to catch them. Newport just trying to get to that first spot. That's all that's left for them to fight for here. And also trying to continue the streak of getting 25 wins in the season. Well, just about all set for baseball. First pitch is next on the ACBL Broadcast Network. Welcome back here to Cardainsville. We get set for baseball. On the mound for the Newport Gulls, Tom Costigan in his first start since the month of June. Costigan looks in on Mark Mitkowski from Manchester. The first pitch of the ball game. Fastball on the outside corner, a called strike, and we're underway here in Game 2. Manchester came in to watch the end of the first game. First pitch is up and away. Ball one, which Newport defeated the Lowell All-Americans 9-2. 1-1 the count here on the leadoff batter, Mark Mikowski, left fielder for Manchester, bats .258, second on the team, no homers, 4 RBI. 1-1 pitch, a breaking ball, just misses inside, 2-1.
And Nick, in that last meeting between these two teams, Tom Costigan came in relief in the 9th inning and shut the door on the Manchester Silkworms, and he did pick up the victory in that game.
2-1 pitch, breaking ball, swung on and missed, strike 2, and the count's even to Mikowski. Silkworms have seen Costigan twice this season. 2-2. Swinging a foul to the left. He did pick up that win in relief back on July 22nd. Costigan also pitched an inning against Manchester on July 8th. The Gulls' 11-0 win. Well, did not factor in the decision in that ball game. 2-2 delivery again. Swing and a drive, pulled down the left field line. Out goes Mike Tamsen, David Cunningham, the third baseman. He makes the catch for the inning's first out. Cunningham is a very similar build to Tamsen. He fooled me for a moment, thought Tamsen was out there. Cunningham gets to start at third base tonight. Cody Grisham, the shortstop, also gave chase on that one. David Poutier gets to start at second base, so Taylor Meehan has the second game off. Meehan did bat in the first game. Alex Gregory, the first baseman, Mike Melillo, and Tom Costigan on your battery. Melillo catching Costigan. Murphy has game 2 off. Outfield from left to right. Kyle Conley, Kyle Rowe, Joey Manning. A pitch. Fastball swung on, ripped down the right field line, but foul. Home run distance, but foul by a bunch. A.J. Rusbowski, shortstop of Manchester, had an even .250 clip. No homers, 12 RBI, 6 doubles. Leads the team with 15 walks. BO1. Fastball framed on the inside corner for strike 2. And Costigan's ahead of Rusbowski, 0-2. Costigan has had some occasional control problems this season, but has been pretty reliable out of the bullpen. 0-2 pitch. Changeup misses outside. It's 1-2. 18 walks to 25 strikeouts. Opponents hitting .226 on him from coming into the game. There's 31 innings of work. 1-2 pitch. Skips in the dirt about 3 feet in front of the plate. Counts even at 2s. Matt Grasso to follow here.
And of course, Nick, as you said, the Torrington Twisters defeated Pittsfield. Of course, the Silkworms are battling the Twisters for that fourth and final playoff spot.
2-2. Skips in there, ball 3. The count's worked full.
And if the Silkworms want to get in the playoffs, they're going to have to win some games. They can't expect the back end of the playoffs. You want to go into the playoffs on a high note.
Payoff pitch. Swing a ground ball, bounce softly, third base side. Cunningham scoops it, throws across to first, and he got him by a half a step. Good play by David Cunningham. threw a bullet across the diamond on the run. And there's 2 away here in the first inning.
Nick, that was a very alert play by Cunningham because Cody Grisham was playing on the edge of the outfield grass. He was running in for it, but by the time he got to it and threw to first, Sparsky would have got a infield single. So Cunningham alertly picked it up and made a strong throw to Gregory at first base.
So 2 outs for Matt Grasso, who the DH spot tonight is batting .324, leading the Silkworms. They're only 300-plus hitter. First pitch, a ground ball bouncer right back to the mound, rolling softly. Double clutching, Scott spin fields, throws to first in time. Side in order. We're through a half an inning of baseball here at Cardines Field. Manchester Silkworms nothing. Newport Gulls coming up on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Back here now at Cardines Field in Newport, Rhode Island. No scores. The Newport Gulls will be batting here against Jamil Acosta for the Manchester Silkworms. Mike Lord, what can you tell us about him?
Okay, for Jamil Acosta, who joined the team late in the season, this is going to be his 5th appearance. He's got no wins and 1 loss, and that loss was against the Vermont Mountaineers last week at Northwest Park. His ERA is 4.15. He's pitched 13 innings, given up 16 hits, 8 runs, 6 of them earned, walked 4, struck out 9, and opposing batters are hitting .291 against him.
So Acosta, a little stopper here. The Newport Gulls have won 4 straight against the Manchester Silkworms dating back to June 16th.
And Nick, not only is this an important game for the Silkworms from a standing standpoint, we all know they're battling the Twisters for that final spot, but from a psychological standpoint, they need to know that they can beat the elite on the road, and Newport Gulls and elite go hand in hand.
Manchester Silkworms just 7-11 on the road coming into tonight's ball game. With a win earlier this afternoon, the Newport Gulls improved to 13-5 at home, the best home record in the Southern Division. Newport sends Kyle Rowe to the leadoff spot here. Rowe to face Acosta for the first time this season. First pitch from him. Fastball on the inside corner, a called strike from the southpaw. Kyle Rowe did not appear in game 1. Of course, the roster in that one and the lineup was already set from July 23rd. The pitch, breaking ball on the inside corner for strike 2. Nothing into the count. Game 1 today began on July 23rd, but was delayed by rain in the second inning. We finished the last 7.5 innings earlier this afternoon against Lowell. The 0-2 pitch is high, ball 1. The Gulls get a 9-2 victory in that game. There are 2 other doubleheaders in the league today. We have the game 1 scores from all of them. Important news for Newport. Torrington did defeat Pittsfield 1-0 at Pittsfield, a 1 o'clock game there. 1-2 pitch is high. And Holyoke did fall to Sanford in game 1 of their doubleheader, which got away at 3:30. 10-4 the final in that 7-inning contest. Here at Cardines Field, 2-2 the count when Kyle Rowe, the leadoff batter for the Gulls. The pitch from Acosta. Curve is up and in. Ball 3. There's a high breaking curve that just arcs over the inside part of the plate.
And Nick, looking at the scores from last night, the Keene Swamp Bats lost their 2nd straight doubleheader. They were swept by the Lowell All-Americans back on Saturday night, and last night swept by Sanford.
6-5 the first game, 9-4 the second game as Kyle Rowe takes ball 4. A leadoff walk issued to the Gulls center fielder. Set the defensive alignment for you. J.D. Broderick at first base, Ryan Piacentini at second, A.J. Ruspaski the shortstop, Sean O'Hara the third baseman. The battery, Michael Borden catches Jamil Acosta. Outfield, from right to left this time. We'll do right fielder Jeff Kimmins, Michael Gallick in center, and left fielder Mark Mitkowski. Acosta look in on Mike Milillo, the catcher. Takes the first pitch breaking ball in there for a strike. Milillo, 1 for 5, a walk, 2 runs batted in earlier today against the Lowell. Of course, that game technically began 5 days ago. So I can't just exactly say earlier today. I check on the runner at first. Rowe dives in. Manchester Silkworms well aware of Kyle Rowe's base stealing prowess. 14 for 14 in swipe bags. 0-1 pitch. Swing and a drive. Crushed to left center field. Going back to left field. It's going to be off the wall on a bounce. Takes a hop. Rounds third. He will be waved home. Here's the throw. Here it comes to the plate. It's not in time. Newport Gulls take a 1-0 lead on an RBI double by Mike Milillo.
I'll tell you, Mike Mielo, I can't say it 10 times fast, but ran on the pitch, and I'm sorry, it was Kyle Roth that ran on the pitch, and Mielo just drove it to the gap as Mark Mikowski, the left fielder, was playing close to the line, and Gallick was playing a straightaway center field. And with Roth's speed, I mean, it was a no-brainer that he was going to score. It was a throw. The throw to the plate was about 10 feet up on the first base side, so they had no chance of getting Roth.
So the walk quickly comes back to Ham Acosta here. And the Gulls, with no one out, 1-0 the score, have a runner in scoring position. One of the league's hottest hitters in Mike Tamsen, the pitch. Fastball, look out inside as he backs off the plate. Tamsen now batting .431, still on pace to set a league record in batting average despite being in a mini slump the last 4 games. Bats on the left side, the 1-0. Outside ball 2. He'd love to get swinging again and not only crush that league record, but make it unreachable for future players. And he's got the potential to do it the way he's been hitting. A dozen multiple hit games this season for Tamsen, but none in the last 4 starts. 2-0 pitch. Curve on the outside corner, a strike. It's 2-1.
And the Newport Gulls are hitting at .286 as a team. It's down from the .290s against Manchester the other night, but still good enough for best in the NECBL.
Tamsen stands in, a runner at second, the 2-1 pitch coming. Swing a ground ball, bounce softly to the shortstop of the Ruspaski. Fires across the first in time to retire Timson. 6-3 is the first out of the inning. Now we'll see Alex Gregory, who also had a game against Lowell off. Gregory was not in the original lineup on July 23rd, and Mike Coombs opted not to make any substitutions except for, of course, Kenny Socorro, who's not with the team this week. Cody Grisham did take over Socorro in Game 1, but the rest of the lineup was the same as it had begun on July 23rd. Alex Gregory stands in here, an RBI opportunity. He's 4 shy of the NECBL record, 38 on the season. The pitch. Curve, swung on, fouled to the right. Karam's back towards the Gulls dugout.
The Newport Gulls as a team, 31 home runs. Unbelievable.
The NACBL lead, one ahead of Keene, who had a couple last night. And their losses to Sanford. Of course, the Swamp Bats played in a much smaller ballpark with much shorter fences than Cardines Field. The 0-1 pitch swung on, look out, foul off the right side. That one flies over the grandstand and bounces into the fire station.
You know, Nick, I was talking to Coach Coombs before the game, and I kidded him. I said, Coach, wherever the Newport Gulls play should be designated as a no-fly zone.
There's a National Guard base near here. Check on the runner, and no one covering at second base as Acosta will stare. Melillo back to the bag. This is Rhode Island National Guard night here at Cardines Field. We had some National Guard members honored on the field in the pregame show. The 0-2 pitch comes inside high, ball 1. Alex Gregory bats .313 with 8 homers, 30 RBI. Both statistics lead the NACBL. 9 doubles on the season. A hit here could bring home Melillo. It's 1-0 Newport, 1 out in the first. The 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 call on the outside corner. Gregory didn't like it, has a slow walk. A couple words for home plate umpire Richard Emerson. Now has a couple more words for him as he heads back to the dugout. Emerson, the home plate umpire, Brian Troop, the field umpire. They switch roles from earlier in the day. First strikeout for Jamil Acosta.
Of course, Nick, you and I have announced in the league long enough to know that those outside pitches are going to get called strikes.
Absolutely. Very frequently see the corners on. As this pitcher's on the inside corner, strike 1 to Kyle Conley. Conley is batting .264, 7 home runs, 34 RBI, just shy of Gregory's numbers. He's among the league leaders as well. The 0-1 pitch. Swing and a drive, well hit left field, way back! It's off the top of the wall and bounce. Rounding third, heading home is Melillo. He scores, and Kyle Conley is in the second with an RBI stand-up double. He missed a home run by just about 5 feet. That hit about 20 feet up with the fence.
I'll tell you, that was such a line drive, Nick. I'm surprised that ball didn't get stuck in the fence, in the chain link fence here. And of course, Mielo was running on the pitch, so he easily scored. So 2 doubles for the Newport Gulls, and they quickly jump out to a 2-0 lead. And Nick, with the Silkworms having the 217 team batting average, they can ill afford to let the Gulls score early and often.
That's going to bring Mark Stevens, the pitching coach, out for a quick word with Acosta, as Newport leads 2-0 here in the first, and have another RBI opportunity here, this time for David Cunningham, who is yet to drive in a run on the season. That's 233. Limited playing time, 13 games played. This is his 10th start, the 14th game he's appeared in. A runner at second, 2 run in with 2 outs here for Newport. The pitch, curve in there for a strike. Acosta has a real arcing curveball that just breaks on the inside part of the plate to right-hand batters. The 0-1 from the lefty. Another curveball is a little bit high. Added a little bit to that one in velocity. 1-1 the count on the Gull third baseman Cunningham. Again, bats .233. No homers, no runs driven in as yet. Still looking for that first extra base hit. 7 for 30 in the season. 1-1 delivery. Fastball outside and high. Ball 2.
And Nick, the Silkworms pitching leads the NECBL in walks issued, and Kyle Rode led off with the walk, and Mike Miello made him pay for it with that double to the gap.
Already 2 doubles in the inning. The Gulls lead the league in doubles as well. Now 73 as a team, 72 actually. The pitch inside, ball 3, a hitter's count for Cunningham. Gulls' only extra base hit in game 1 of this doubleheader came off the bat of Cody Grisham, was a double in the 8th inning. He scored an insurance run in that inning. Actually, there are 2 doubles in that ball game, so the Gulls do have 73 doubles on the season. Pitch fouled back towards us, Caverns off the top of the press box roof. The counts worked full. We're double crazy here. .73 doubles, that's actually on pace now to set a NECBL record if they can approach it. Meanwhile, runner at second here and 2 outs. Will be a 3-2 pitch. Here it comes, curveball, strike 3 called on the inside corner. David Cunningham goes down looking, but the Newport Gulls score twice here in the first inning on a pair of RBI doubles by Mike Malillo and Kyle Conley. We have played 1 inning from Cardines Field. Newport 2, Manchester nothing on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Welcome back here at Cardines Field. First pitch breaking ball is missing inside, ball 1 from Tom Costigan. The leadoff batter here for the Manchester Silkworms in the second, Michael Gallick. 2-0 the Gulls lead it here. Gallick, the cleanup man, leads off this inning. The pitch outside low, ball 2.
Nick, the key for the Silkworms is to get Gallick on base. He's 9 for 10 in stolen bases, and Joe Carter is second on the team with only 5 stolen bases.
2-0 pitch, swung on, popped, bounced around the plate area. Fielding as Cunningham throws the first, not in time. It'll be an infield single. It looked like Costigan might have had a shot at that one off the mound, but it took a hop away from him. It went nowhere near him. So Cunningham came in from third, but was a long way from fielding that one in time. It's the first hit of the ball game for Manchester.
Yeah, Cunningham was playing on the edge of the outfield grass, and it was a high chop with a lot of backspin. So Cunningham didn't have a chance. Gallick, probably the fastest member of the Silkworms, beat out the infield single.
Now Jeff Kimmins will bat here. The runner at first, tying run at the plate. The pitch, a fastball inside corner for a called strike. Kimmins, right fielder for Manchester, batting .172, no homers, 4 runs batted in, 3 doubles, a triple. He should have some family members here tonight. He's a Jamestown, Rhode Island native. Check with the runner at first. Backstanding is Gallick, who does lead the Silkworms, 9 for 10 stolen bases in the season. Kimmins plays his college ball at the University of Rhode Island, just across the bridge in Kingstown. From the stretch, Costigan. The 0-1 pitch coming to the plate. Fastball is high and inside. 1-1. Jamestown, Rhode Island, 1 town over from Newport. Oh, it's literally a 5-minute drive across the bridge. It's also an island community. Costigan sets, kicks, and fires. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Costigan has a sort of an odd delivery. He doesn't really kick much. works out of the stretch. Just sort of throws to the plate.
Yeah, Cameron's folks are here in attendance. I did see him with his mom and dad before the game.
Well, Cameron's lives closer to Cardane's Field than any of the Newport Gulls do. So check on the runner first. Oh, that was close. It's like they almost had Gallic. He dives in safely. Gregory couldn't get the tag on in time. Newport Gulls lead the ACBL on runners picked off. Have 11 as a team. Time called. Looks like Mike Melillo has something in his eye. Now he's all set. Ball and 2 strikes on Kimmins. The pitch. High. Check on the runner at first, but Gregory wasn't covering. They would have had him. Melillo took that pitch out for ball 2. Now the count's even on Kimmins. J.D. Broderick waits on deck. No one out here, runner on. 2-0 Gulls, second inning. Koskinen fires. Ground ball bouncer to the second baseman. Up with it, flips to short, throws to first. It is in time, a double play. 4-6-3 double play textbook on a ball that wasn't really designed for it. David Poutier had to feel that one hard to his right. Was able to flip to the shortstop, but with Gallic and his speed running on the play, you figure that was a tough play to turn.
I'll tell you, he almost took out Cody Grisham, who got the ball from Poutier and made the nice throw to Gregory over at first base.
See the replay. Bang, bang plays at both bags. It was close. First pitch, a little bit low, ball 1. Sinking fastball from Tom Koskinen, J.D. Broderick. Broderick had 197, no homers, 5 RBI. Manchester Silkworms have struggled offensively this season. The next pitch skips in there, goes to the backstop. It's 1-1. Manchester, last in the league in team batting average. Batting just .217. 2-0 pitch. Fastball's in there for a strike. They're also second to last in the league in doubles behind Sanford. They only have 39 on the season. Second to last in hits with 263. This next pitch misses ball 3, 3-1 now on Broderick. Probably more importantly, last in the league in runs scored with only 125. And for comparison, Newport is 219. 3-1 pitch bounced softly to the third base side. Cunningham fields, and it goes right underneath his glove. It'll be an E5, and the Silkworms get a gift a base runner here with 2 outs.
Yeah, Cunningham tried to glove it instead of running down and, using 2 hands instead of gloving it and then making a throw with the bare hand. He just ran down and tried gloving it, didn't get the glove down low enough, and Broderick hustling down the line.
Manchester also last in the league with home runs, only 5 on the season. Of course, they play at Northwest Park, perhaps the most difficult ballpark in the league to hit a ball out. Still 5 on the season compared to the Newport Gulls, 31. Here's Ryan Piacentini, the tying run at the plate, takes the first pitch, high ball 1.
Nick, I'm a little surprised that the Sanford Mainers would be last in doubles because Goodwood Park is huge. It's a doubles and triples ballpark.
Absolutely, especially the way Sanford's been playing this season, but they've been relying a lot on their pitching and defense. The 1-0 pitch is high. Sanford second in the league, the .968 fielding percentage, just behind the North Shore Navigators, who have led the league all season in fielding percentage as far as defense goes. Fastball is inside, ball 3. Quickly, Koskinen is falling behind Piacentini. Melillo out forward.
And of course, those of you who aren't familiar with Goodwood Park in Maine, it's 340 down the left field line and shoots out to 370 and 415 in center field. And the only jelly spot is the right field line, 295, but that jets out quickly to 390. Definite doubles ballpark, and any ball that gets in the gap is a triple.
Manchester, and just 5 home runs in the season. Also 3 triples is tied for last in the league with Danbury. You can see Danbury only having 3 triples in the ballpark they play in. The pitch on the inside corner, strike 1. 3-1 the count on Piacentini, a runner at first here. Koskinen doesn't want to put the tying run on for Manchester. From the stretch, 3-1 delivery. Curve is high, Ball 4. First walk issued by Tom Koskinen. And put runners at first and second. The go-ahead run comes to the plate in the form of Michael Borden.
And of course, the Westerners got one of their triples at Northwest Park. And Nick, I think a Greyhound would be hard-pressed to get a triple in that ballpark. It's very small and not much foul room there either.
It's hard to get a double at Rogers Park in Danbury, much less a triple. The way the ball just bounces off the, the outfielders typically play about 10 feet from the fence. So here's Michael Borden with 2 on and 2 out. Koskinen sets, kicks, throws. Ground ball weakly hit by the mound. Koskinen can't field. Here comes the shortstop. Charges, throw to first, got him! A 6-3 ground out. That's how it'll go in the scorebook, but it was much more difficult than that. Cody Grisham, and is returning defensively here to Cardines Field today, makes a great play going to his left to get him by a step.
And Nick, what made that play so great, the field umpire ran by the ball, blocking Grisham's view. So by the time he saw it, the ball was only a few feet from him and showing cat-like reflexes and picking up that ball and firing over to Gregory. Big play for the Gulls because the Silkworms looked like they were getting some momentum.
That he would have beaten that out. That would have lowered the bases for Manchester. But instead, they stranded a pair on a hit here in the second with through an inning and a half from Cardines Field. Newport Gulls 2, Manchester Silkworms nothing on the ACBL Broadcast Network. Joey Manning will lead things off offensively for the Newport Gulls. Will be followed by Poutier and Grisham here in the second. Jamil Acosta out for a second inning of work, allowed a couple of runs on a couple of hits, struck out a couple of batters in the first inning. Walked the batter, allowed 2 RBI doubles to Mike Melillo and Kyle Conley in the first. That's the difference in this ball game, 2-0. Joey Manning takes the first pitch, fouls it to the left, strike 1. Manning did appear in game 1 of this doubleheader. Went 1 for 4, drove in 2 runs with a double, and walked. Of course, Manchester only get to watch game 1. They didn't play in it because it was a game against Lowell, make up of a rain-shortened game last week. Fastball comes inside. He jackknifes out of the way, but it's called by Richard Emerson. Looked like a strike from here.
Nick, Joey Manning may have only 2 home runs on the season, but one of them, people at Northwest Park are still talking about. The only person to ever clear the center field fence at Northwest Park. 0-2
pitch. Breaking ball is fouled off the screen. That was a monster shot.
I'll tell you, if it was hit here, it would have bounced off the tan house. It probably landed on the roof behind the center field fence here.
May have hit off that big red roof out in center field. What you can barely see right now on the current camera angle we have for you if you're watching live on Team Line. 0-2. Swinging a line shot, foul, hooking up the third base line. That would have been extra bases for Manning, but it hooked just to the left of the foul line, a couple of feet. Sun is setting here in downtown Newport. Beautiful evening for baseball. Clear skies, no clouds to be found. Temperature is about 72 degrees, no humidity. A light, cool breeze blows from the ocean. The 0-2 pitch. Curveball, another one that's laced down the third base line. Looks like he cracked his bat. I'll have to head back to the dugout, grab a new one. That bat has some use on it.
Tell you, Manning swung out a fraction of a second early in front of that pitch and just hit it harmlessly down the third base line. And boy, judging by his swing, I think he's going for the playground behind the left field fence.
Haven't seen many balls hit that left field fence this season, especially since the fences have been raised 28 feet high all the way around, except for one 10-foot section in left field where it's only 20 feet high. Which is still the highest fences in the entire NECBL. 0-2 the count on Manning, a leadoff batter here. He's fouled a couple pitches off of Acosta. Wind up, and the pitch. Look out inside. He ducks out of the way. That one is headed towards his face, but he backed out of the way. Ball 1. Manning a pair of doubles on the season. Has 3 doubles now. This one's hit a long way down the right field line, but it's going to be a foul ball. Foul off the warehouse roof. He's been following him to both sides of the ballpark here. Now the home plate umpire needs more balls.
Give you an idea on how strong Joey Manning is, Nick. He actually leaned out across the plate and got the end of the bat on that ball and still drove it on the roof of the warehouse.
It's quite a poke down that right line. Hit a ball very high and deep. Again, the 0-2 pitch is inside and high. That was the 2-2 pitch, actually.
Of course, Manning stands at 6'5", 235 pounds. Very muscular, powerful young man.
And sharing time in right field for the most part with Nick Santamaro, who's not in the lineup here in game 2. 2-2 pitch. Curve outside, ball 3. Oh, that breaking ball has been right on for Acosta most of the night, and he just missed with that one. He already has 2 strikeouts on batters looking in this ball game, looking for his 3rd here. Manning has other plans. David Poutier to follow, taking swings in the on-deck circle. As Acosta gets the signs from Borden. The payoff pitch. Swinging a foul, lifted up the left field line and out of play. Lands on America's Cup Avenue behind the grandstand, which is packed. Looks like we're going to have another full house here tonight. We've had so many games, surpassed 2,000 fans this season. We'll certainly do so again here tonight as the Newport Gulls vie for that all-time record. 3-2 pitch. Curve is swung on, lifted again down the left field line and out of play. We've seen a better than 10 pitcher bat now from Joey Manning, who is battling with Jermaine Acosta here in the leadoff spot in the 2nd.
And Joey Manning's walked 9 times, struck out 32, and at this at-bat, Nick, he has shown an unusual amount of patience. He's laid off pitches that he normally swings at.
12 consecutive games for the Newport Gulls at home at night have seen attendances surpass 2,000 fans. Looks like we'll have that again here this evening. 3-2 pitch. Just inside, ball 4. So Joey Manning wins that battle, fighting off a lot of pitches from Acosta. Takes first base, and he leads off an inning with a walk for the 2nd time tonight. Now Acosta has to deal with 8, 9, and 1 in the Gulls lineup. David Poutier to bat here. Very limited playing time. Last goal to be added to the roster. 7 games played, making his 6th start of the season here. Poutier. That's 235. No homers or runs batted in. Takes the first pitch. Inside, ball 1.
And Nick, one thing that's not going to show up in the box score, he made a play at Northwest Park the other day. The Silkworms were scoring runs in the 7th inning, and he made a nice stop on a ground ball and fired the first base to snuff out the Silkworms from padding their lead. And that play kept the Gulls within range, which they subsequently won the game.
From the stretch, instead of another check with the runner at first, back standing is Jerry Manning. Manning 0 for 1 in stolen bases this season. Acosta pitches to Poutier. 1-0 is fastball in there for a strike. It's 1-1. One and one the count here. As Acosta looks uncomfortable on the mound. Now comes stretching a snap throw to first. Oh, that was a great pickoff move. But he dives in safely. Acosta just released that ball like it was nothing. A flick of the left hand. 1-1 pitch. A bunt popped up well back and over the screen and onto America's Cup Avenue. That one was bunted a long way. David Poutier steps out, steps back in. The count, ball and 2 strikes. Costa's pitch, another check on the runner at first. Well, he barely moves when he releases that ball. He just moves that left arm on that pickoff move. 1-2. Fastball misses low and away. Counts even. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I can imagine what the Gulls' attendance would be if they had the seating capacity that Frazier Field and Lynn has.
Another check on the runner. He's back standing. You can imagine. This ballpark would be great with nice box seats like that. Good camera positions for us. 2-2 pitch. Fastball is high and the count's worked full. Count's full on the third consecutive batter. Costa throwing a lot of pitches here. Kicks some dirt off the mound. Walks for a moment, pauses. Steps back on the rubber. Stands at the first base side. He'll look over at first. He does have one kickoff on the season. Another attempt, and backs diving in is Manning. Oh, he's been really preoccupied with Manning. He's not much of a base stealing threat, though. No one out here. Costa has to pitch to the plate. Poutier stands in the count, 3-2. Here is the pitch. Runner goes. It's a breaking ball inside, ball 4. Back-to-back walks here on 3-2 pitches. And Poutier's patience pays off. Now Cody Grisham. Grisham had a great defensive play to end the top of the second inning. I'll bat here with runners at first and second, nobody out.
And Nick, that was walk number 194 issued by Silkworm pitching, by and far the most in the NECBO.
Now, speaking of most walks in the NECBL, game 1 today against Lowell, Newport Gulls were issued 15 walks, which is a NECBL record for 2008. No other game this season has seen that many walks issued to one team. Previous was 12. Torrington did it twice. The pitch, a bunt put up the first base line, but it's going to roll foul halfway up the line. It was very hard hit up that line. Looked like a fastball that Grisham tried to bunt on.
And Nick, from what I see, the field seems to be very hard. Any kind of bunt is going to get quite the roll.
Yeah, with all that rain yesterday, they put a lot of quick dry down to get this field ready. We had torrential downpours all throughout the day, yesterday afternoon, in the morning, last night. Thunderstorms were all over the area. So this field saw a lot of water. A lot of work to get it ready for today's doubleheader by our volunteer grounds crew. 0-1 pitch, he's showing bunt, takes a breaking ball high, throw to second, and he is back in time. And he almost had Joey Manning too far off the bag. Good throw from Borden. It was sailed a little bit high, but Piacentini didn't have time to get the tag on him either way. Counts 1-1 to Grisham. Top of the order due up next here for Newport. And runners at first and second, nobody out. 2-0 the score, looking for more. And they may have Manning. Here's the throw. Gets off of him, bounces off of Manning and rolls away. Recovered by Ruspaski. Well, Manning was way off the bag, and they would have had him that time, but the ball actually hit Joey. A pickoff move from Acosta. Now Manning takes a smaller lead at second. 1-1 pitch and another check on him. Well, we've seen Acosta check on Manning either at first or second base now about 11 times.
Nick, it's very hard for a left-handed pitcher to pick somebody off at second base.
1-1 to the plate. A bunt pulled right up to the mound. He fields, looks at third, looks at second, throws to first. It's a little bit wide, but gets Cody Grisham. But the sacrifice is more than successful. 2 runners in scoring position now, as Manning and Poutier both advanced into scoring position.
Sean O'Hara, the third baseman for the Silkworms, was charging down the line on the bunt. So when Acosta picked up the ball, he looked at third. There was nobody to throw to. So he made the only play he could. That was to Broderick at first base.
We cycled to the top of the order, and Kyle Rode scored the first run of the ball game, was issued a walk on a 3-2 pitch in the first inning. Now Newport looking for more insurance. 2-1 in the scoring position. The pitch to Rode. Breaking ball. Grounded third base side. It's going to be fielded by the shortstop. No play. Run scores. It'll be an infield RBI single for Kyle Rode. And the Newport Gulls lead it 3-0. It was very softly hit to Ruspaski. He had a backhand stab at the edge of the outfield grass, but by the time he even picked the ball up, Rode was already safe at first base. That's going to bring, looks like, that Greg Sullivan coming out now. Saw Mark Stevens out of the dugout earlier. Now Greg Sullivan, assistant coach, has a few words here with Acosta.
And Nick, looking at the stat sheet, Kyle Rhodes 14 for 14 in stolen bases, by and far the team leader. Taylor Meehan is 4 for 4, and other than that, nobody on the Gulls has more than 2 stolen bases.
Newport Gulls fairly consistently are not among the league leaders in stolen bases. Always get those guys that go for power, not necessarily speed. Usually there's 1 or 2 players in the Gulls that are capable of stealing. Last season was Michael Berger, for example. This year it's been Kyle Rode, who's been outstanding in the base paths, but out of nowhere, the Newport Gulls stole 8 bases on Saturday against Torrington. Of course, the Torrington Twisters lead the league in stolen bases allowed. Here's Mike Melillo, who had the RBI double his last time. A runner at third, a runner at first. A check on that runner at first. Kyle Rode dives in safely. Rode has the ability to take off for second. No action in the bullpen for either team. So Silkworms putting their trust in Acosta here. Again, he checks on Rode. And Rode's the kind of guy that will take off against a left-hander. He has the speed to do it. Here's the pitch. Curve is high, and even Borden now has a look back at Rode. Well, Silkworms are being almost obsessive here with these runners on base.
And the Gulls, even though they have only 28 stolen bases, Nick, they've only attempted 36, very high percentage, which tells me they're not taking themselves out of potentially big innings.
1-0, another check on the runner at first, and Rhodes back on. Well, Gulls are a team that will hit for power, hit for average. Get their runs home that way. Another check to Rode, and this time they almost have him, but he dives in head first safely. Newport does not lose many runners in the base paths at all. 1-0 pitch, high, ball 2. Immediately Borden stands up and will look back at first base, but doesn't offer. Acosta has to focus on the hitter at the plate here. Rode could score from first on a hit either way, so. Another check on him, and again he's diving in safely. Well, in this inning, we've seen him throw more throws to first and second, then to the plate. 2-0 pitch is low, ball 3.
And of course, Nick, the problem with too many throws to first base, one of them is bound to get by the first baseman on a bad throw. And with the foul room here at Newport, Rode could probably get the third base.
Now, the only foul territory here at Cardines Field is right behind that first base bag. 3-0 the count. Another check on Rode, and he's back standing. Well, I've never seen a left-hander check this many times in a runner at first base. The pitch to the plate. Swing and a drive. Well hit, crushed to center. In comes the center fielder at the wall. He makes the catch, tagging from third and scoring is David Poutier, and the Newport Gulls take a 4-0 lead.
That ball looked like it was going to drop for extra bases, but Michael Gallick, who time and time again has cut off many balls from going in the gap, making the play, but the Gulls get the man from third to score.
Sacrifice fly RBI for Mike Melillo, his second RBI of the ball game. Now has 28 on the season, third on the team. His 4th RBI of the day, factor in the earlier game against Lowell, which Newport won 9-2. Now a runner at first and 2 down for Mike Timson. Grounded out his last time. Runner takes off. Here's the throw to second. It is not in time. Stolen base for Kyle Rode. Picks up his 15th stolen base of the season. Remains perfect, 15 for 15. Again, the Gulls stole 8 bags on Saturday against Torrington.
Rode got such a jump that by the time the catcher Michael Borden got the ball, Rode was already halfway to second base.
A good lead there. Timpson remains at the plate. 1-0 the count. Here is the pitch. Fastball is lowered away. Mike Timpson needs a couple hits in this ball game if he wants to stay in contention for that NECBL record of .429 batting average. He's at .431 right now. From the stretch, Acosta, the 2-0. Check on the runner at second, and Rode just back in time. Good pickoff move behind him that time, as Rusbowski came in to cover. From the stretch. Check on the runner, the 2-0 pitch. Curve, outside corner, a cold strike. Alex Gregory waits on deck here with 2 down. A lot of power in the middle of the lineup for Newport with Gregory and Connolly. 2-1 pitch coming to the plate. Inside. Thompson wasn't going to offer. He backed away from the plate before that one was even released. Now he may get a green light to count 3-1. Hitting room in right center field for Mike Thompson if he can pull one. Road leads at second. 4-0 Gulls. A 3-1 pitch, and time is called as Acosta kicks and begins to deliver but holds on to the ball. Thompson right back in from the left side, levels the bat. Road takes his lead. 3 balls, 1 strike to count. Jamil sets, kicks, fires. Outside, high ball 4. Mike Thompson picks up his first walk of this ball game, the Gulls' 4th walk of the game, 3rd of the inning. That's Thompson's 4th walk of the day. He leads the team with 24 now. Had 3 walks in game 1 against Lowell. And now we will see Alex Gregory will bat with runners at first and second and 2 down. And that will do it. Here in the 2nd inning, that will do it for Jamil Acosta as Greg Sullivan comes to the mound. Well, it should do it. That's the 2nd mound visit. Now he does signal to the bullpen. So we have a pitching change coming in this game from Cardines Field on the ACBL Broadcast Network. Welcome back here at Cardines Field. We're in the 2nd inning. Newport Gulls lead at 4-0 and remain batting. A new pitcher on the mound from Manchester, Mike Lord, will tell us more about him.
Thank you, Nick. And that pitcher is Andrew Janiga, who was acquired by the Gulls through the midseason. He's got 1 win, no losses. That win came up in Lowell July 9th, an ERA of 3.14. He's pitched 14.1 innings, given up 13 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned, walked 10, struck out 20. Opponents only hitting .232 against him.
So Janiga charged with keeping this game close. Alex Gregory at the plate. Runners at first and second. 2 outs. Gregory struck out his last time against Acosta. A pitch. Low and away, ball 1. Missed with a sinking fastball. Gregory, league leader in runs batted in with 38, is just 3 shy of tying the all-time NECBL record of 41. He leads the NECBL with 8 homers, bats .313. 1-0 pitch. Outside, ball 2. Janiga looks in, gets the signs from his catcher, Borden. A long look in as he comes to the stretch. 2-0. Swung on, hit down the right field line. Is going to be out of play. Lands beyond the Mudfield pub. 41 is the RBI record for the NECBL, set in 1998 by Bud Blair, the Central Mass Collegians. It was tied in 1998 by Danbury's Mark Malaska in 1999. 2-1 the count here on Gregory, and has 38 runs knocked in this season. Awaits the pitch coming from Janiga. Swung on, again lifted to the right side and out of play. The count's 2-2. Majority of Gregory's home runs have come on the road. They did have a couple of 3-run homers here at Cardines Field against Danbury last week. Earned him NECBL Player of the Week honors. Two-two pitch from Andrew Janiga. Fastball is away, ball 3, and the count's worked full. Kyle Conley waits on deck here. Third base is open, but runners at first and second. Silkworms need a strikeout here. The Newport Gulls like to keep hitting. From the stretch, Janiga. A payoff pitch, the runners go. Ball 4, low and away, and they're loaded up for Kyle Conley.
Nick, the Silkworms can ill afford to let the Gulls score too many more runs because the Silkworms in 19 innings here at Cardines Field this year have scored only 1 run, and that was in the 2-1 loss to the Newport Gulls back on June 16th. And of course they were shut out 1-0 in that classic.
Cardinals Field, probably one of the most difficult ballparks to play in this league, with the grandstands always packed and right on top of the field with limited foul territory here. Always difficult for visiting teams to come here with the odd dimensions in the outfield as well. Now Kyle Conley stands in, bases loaded. The pitch, curve, outside, ball one. Conley 0 for 3 with the bases loaded this season. He's due. Bats 357 with runners on and 429 with runners in scoring position. 1-0 the count. Here's the pitch. Fastball outside corner, a strike. It's 1-1. Conley and RBI double his last time. 35 runs knocked in the season. He could take the NECBL lead here with one swing of the bat. 4-0 Gulls lead it. 2 outs. Runners at first, second, and third. From the stretch, Janiga. Ball 1-1 pitch. High and away, ball 2. David Cunningham to follow. Kyle Conley, late season addition for Newport. He's been an offensive hero here in the month of July. He's won several games for the Newport Gulls with his bat. 2-1 delivery is swung on, popped up right side and out of play. The count's even. Andrew Janiga placed Jamil Acosta, the starter, here in the second inning. Trying to prevent any more runners from scoring. He walked Gregory. Now, counts even on Conley. From the stretch, Janiga fires. Swing and a miss, he struck him out. Kyle Conley, fans here. That leaves the bases loaded. Newport Gulls get a couple more runs across, though, here in the second. They leave 3, they've left 4. And after 2 complete from Cardinals Field, Newport Gulls 4, Manchester Silkworms nothing on the NECBL Broadcast Network. So we go to the third here at Cardinals Field in Newport, Rhode Island. Beautiful evening for baseball in the city by the sea. The Newport Gulls lead the Manchester Silkworms 4-0. Before we continue with the third inning, let's take 10 seconds for station identification here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. This is Newport Gulls baseball on your home for the Gulls, the NECBL Broadcast Network. 4-0 Newport Gulls lead here at Cardinals Field. Nick Lima joined by Mike Lord. Batting for the Manchester Silkworms, 9-1-2 here in the third. Sean O'Hara, third baseman, in his first shot of the night against Tom Costigan. O'Hara bats on the right side, batting 194, homer, 9 RBIs. Takes first pitch fastball for strike 1. 2 doubles on the season. He's second on the team with 31 strikeouts. Struggles at the plate with his patience. The next pitch misses low and away. O'Hara doesn't offer. He's only walked 12 times. 1-1 the count. Costigan throws. Swung on, chopped weakly on third base side. Cunningham fields cleanly, throws to first, gets him by a step, and there's one out.
Nice play by Cunningham to charge in. That ball had a lot of top spin on it, but Cunningham handled it cleanly and fired over to Gregory for the out.
Now Mark Mitkowski flied out to third base his last time. No bad here. The base is empty. His team down by 4 runs. And there is hardly a seat here at Cardinals Field tonight. A packed house. Even sitting behind us here in the press box. Could be approaching 3,000 tonight in attendance. The pitch, curve, outside corner, a called strike. That breaking ball has been right on for Tom Costigan. He's been missing with very few of his pitches. He's just walked 1 batter so far. Next one is a changeup that misses inside and low, 1-1.
Of course, they're not actual seats, they're benches here, Nick. The only way to get a seat tonight is to bring a shoehorn with you and see if you can wedge in between a couple people.
1-1 pitch is ripped into center field, charging hard Kyle Road, and he slides and makes the catch. Kyle Road showing off his outfield speed. Charging in hard on that one. It was a ripped shot from Mitkowski to center. He came in and made a great catch on the run.
Nick, at first, Kyle Road ran kind of half-hearted. He looked like he didn't know whether he should play the ball on a hop, but then he decided to go full speed ahead and made the nice diving catch.
See on the replay one more time, and he fell down and hang on to it. Pitch, swinging a pop-up. First base side, giving chases. Alex Gregory from the Gulls dugout. He makes the catch for the out that retires his side. A 1-2-3 inning for Tom Costigan and the Newport Gulls defense for the second time tonight. Silkworms go down in order. We've played 2.5 from Cardines Field. Newport Gulls forward. Manchester Silkworms nothing on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Welcome back here at Cardines Field as the Newport Gulls batting here in the last half of the third. David Cunningham, the only goal not to make a plate appearance in the second inning as Newport sent 8 men to the plate. Left the bases loaded, scoring 2 runs. 0-1 the count now on Cunningham, takes a first pitch strike. Andrew Janiga out for a full inning of relief as the next pitch is high. Came in to get the last out in the second. So Jamil Costa experienced some wildness, walking 3 batters. Janiga gave up a walk himself, but struck out Kyle Conley. And threat. 1-1 pitch, high. Actually in there for a strike. It's 1-2. Cunningham struck out his last time, 0-for-1 in the night. That's 233 coming into the night. No homers or no runs batted in, no extra base hits. Next pitch is high. Count will even up. Packed house here at Cardines Field. A beautiful game for baseball. Here's a 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Foul tipped into the mitt. Held on by Borden. And Cunningham goes down by way of the K for the second time. 2 strikeouts consecutively between innings for Janiga. 4th strikeout for Silkworm pitching. Now Joey Manning. He walked his last time. Manning. That's 210, pair of homers, 8 RBI. Drove in a couple in game 1 today. The pitch, curve in there for a strike. Innings leadoff walk, fighting off a few pitches from the starter Acosta. That's what the Gulls got the Gulls rally going. 0-1 pitch is fouled to the backstop. A golf swing that time. Manning off balance. Counts 0-2.
Nick, on that pitch, it looked like Manning was sitting on a fastball, and instead he got an off-speed breaking pitch.
Gully makes its way through the stands, having chats with the fans. Well, Gully doesn't say much. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, he struck him out. Back-to-back strikeouts for Andrew Janiga. Gets Manning here on 3 pitches. So he's doing what he needs to do. He's shutting the Gulls offense down.
Well, Janiga has 20 strikeouts in 14 innings coming into tonight, so now he's got 22 strikeouts in what is now a full inning for him.
There's David Poutier. First pitch to him, a breaking ball outside. 1-0.
Well, a full inning tonight, but he's up to 15 innings and 23 strikeouts.
3 strikeouts consecutively, all of them swinging. Poutier walked his last time when he faced Acosta. First pitch is high, now it's 2-0. Poutier scored the last Gulls run. Across the plate in the second on the sacrifice fly by Melillo. 2-0 delivery, fastball is low and away, ball 3. After getting ahead of Manning 0-2, he's fallen behind Poutier, 3 balls and no strikes. Working quickly from the windup, he kicks and deals. That's high, ball 4 inside, off the plate. Poutier picks up a 4-pitch walk for Cody Grisham. Well, the walks continue. That's the 6th walk of the ball game and the 21st walk issued to the Newport Gulls today. Of course, Manchester not responsible for the first 15. That was Lowell. Did the damage to themselves in that game. The pitch in there for a strike to Cody Grisham. Grisham, a sacrifice bunter, advanced 2 runners his last time. Both those runners eventually came around to score, so the sacrifice was extremely successful. 0-1 pitch, another check on the runner at first, and Poutier backs, diving in safely. David Poutier, 2 for 2 stolen bases this season and limited playing time. picked up a steal in Torrington in Game 1 on Saturday, and that doubleheader, which the Gulls also swept. 0-1 pitch, swung on, drilled down the right field line, but foul and out of play. 0-2.
So, of course, Nick, with the 15 walks that Lowell issued, on the bus ride back, if they stop at the toll and the toll collector asks for any free passes, they can tell them we left them all at Cardinals Field.
Well, I don't know if that would work, though, where those toll booths operate. A cutthroat. Here's the 0-2 pitch, high ball 1.
I'm careful when I take out my money because I'm afraid that they're going to tear my hand off in the process.
One time I took a wrong turn onto a toll on the Mass Pike. I had to pay the toll twice. I said, is it all right if I just turn around, sir? And he said, oh, yeah, you got to pay the $2. I said, oh, really? I gave him $2 and it went right around. And guess what? The guy on the other side made me pay the $2. 1-2 pitch is outside, ball 2. Count Steven on Cody. Top of the order up next here for Newport with 2 outs. I wasn't too happy with the Mass Pike toll booth operators after that day. I just got on the on-ramp. It wasn't like I was driving down the pike. It's in the city of Boston. Took a wrong turn. 2-2 pitches. A strike 3 call right down the middle. And despite issuing a walk, Andrew Janiga strikes out the side here in the 3rd. 3 innings in the books from Cardinals Field. Gulls 4, Silkworms nothing. As we continue on the NECBL Broadcast Network. We go to the 4th inning here at Cardinals Field. Newport Gulls leading the Manchester Silkworms 4-0. Here to take you with the play-by-play story is Mike Lord.
Thank you, Nick. And leading off the top of the 4th inning for the Silkworms, Matt Grosso. Costigan will face the 3-4-5 hitters. The Gulls lead 4-0 as they got 2 runs in the first 2 innings. The first pitch, a breaking pitch, misses outside for ball 1. Grosso grounded back to the pitcher in the first inning. Comes in with the team-leading .324 average. The 1-0 pitch is swung on a pop foul over the screen down the third baseline to even up the count at 1-1 strike. As David Cunningham playing even with the bag at third base. And dating back to July 22nd, Tom Costigan has now thrown 5 shutout innings against the Silkworms as the 1-1 pitch misses outside. Costigan appeared July 22nd in relief in the 8th inning. The 2-1 pitch, the fastball is taken low and inside for ball 3. The count is 3-1 strike.
I'll make it 6. He had a shutout inning of relief against Manchester on July 8th as well.
The 3-1 pitch, the fastball misses high for ball 4. So Matt Grosso draws a leadoff walk for the Silkworms. And that will bring up the center fielder, number 9, Michael Gallick, who has the only hit of the game, which was an infield single back in the 2nd inning. And was unfortunately erased in the 4-6-3 double play by Jeff Cameron. So Michael Gallick looking down at third base, getting signals from head coach Al Lever. The Gulls have their infield drawn in at double play depth. Alex Gregory holding the runner on at first base. Gallick steps up, swings, and hits a ground ball to second. Poitier has it. Steps on the bag himself, and the throw to first base is not in time, so it's going to be a force out at second base. And Nick, I'm a little surprised he didn't underhand the ball of Cody Grisham.
Well, I was watching him very closely. I don't think he had a good, clean field of that ball. He was lucky to get that first out. He had tough time getting it out of his glove, and that's why he didn't underhand, and he had to take it himself to the bag. Had no shot at the runner at first base.
So with 1 out and the runner on first base, that'll bring up the right fielder, number 4, Jeff Cammons, who hit in a 4-6-3 double play back in the 2nd inning. Checking the runner, and now a snap throw over to first base is Tom Costigan. Getting back, standing up is Michael Gallick. Gallick leads the Silkworms in stolen bases, 9 stolen bases in 10 attempts. The infield still drawn in with 1 out here and the runner on first. The pitch, it looked like a side-on breaking pitch, which misses inside for ball 1. Excellent crowd here. It's standing room only here at historic Cardinals Field. I'm Mike Lod with Nick Lima. Glad you can join us. 1 out, top of the 4th inning. The Silkworms trail the Gulls 4-0 in a game they desperately need the win as the Torrington Twisters defeated the Pittsfield Dukes earlier today 1-0 in the battle for the fourth and final playoff spot. Gregory holding the runner on at first base. The runner goes. The pitch is swung on. And the umpire rules. I think he's going to rule that Cammons, he swung at the pitch. I think he's going to rule that it was a foul tip.
Well, no, the runner's going to stay at second, so I guess it would be a pass ball.
Okay, so he's going to rule that Cammons did not make contact and that it's going to go as a stolen base for Michael Gallick. So that's going to be his 10th stolen base as the team leader. Second is Tom Carter with 5. So the Silkworms have their first runner in scoring position as the 1-1 pitch misses low and outside for ball 2. So the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. Coming into tonight's game, the Silkworms, 15 wins, 22 losses. Checking runner at second is Costigan. The windup, the 2-1 pitch is swung on and lined to one hopper off the leg of Grisham. The throw over to first base. It goes over the head of Alex Gregory. Rounding third and scoring is Michael Gallick, and the Manchester Silkworms are on the scoreboard. So it's going to go as an error to the, I believe a throw-in error to the shortstop as Cody Grisham had it bounce off his leg. It's Michael Gallick hustling all the way. And on the throw to first base, which sailed over Alex Gregory's head, Gallick scored, and taking second and staying at first base was Jeff Cameron. So it's going to go as an E6 and no RBI, I believe.
No RBI, no hit for Cammons. Silkworms on the board.
And I was told it's going to be 2 errors on the play. The runner goes, and the pitch out. They have Cammons caught. Looks like Cody Grisham throws over to Alex Gregory. And Jeff Cammons is picked off base. So again, Nick, as you mentioned, the Gulls add on to their league-leading pickoffs.
That's their 12th of the season. So, one of those errors is now made harmless, but the other one is so costly, that 1 run resulting.
And big base running blunder for the Silkworms as they scored 1 run and looked like they were getting momentum as the 1-0 pitch is swung on to Mr. J.D. Broderick, who reached on an error to the third baseman back in the second inning. Broderick out of West Virginia State awaits the 1-1 pitch. Here it comes, a swing and a miss at the fastball, so he's behind in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Now 2-4-3 on the pickoff, officially.
The 1-2 pitch misses high for ball 2. The count is 2-2 as the lights are on here at historic Hardings Field. As the sun is set behind the clouds, the 2-2 pitch is swung on, ground ball to the right side. Gregory has it, underhands it to the pitcher Costigan, who tags the bag for out number 3. So it's going to go 3-1 if you're scoring at home, and that'll do it for the Silkworms, but they pick up 1 run on no hits and nobody left on. We're midway through the 4th inning here at historic Hardings Field, and the score is now the Newport Gulls 4, the Manchester Silkworms 1. You're listening and watching this game on the NECPL Broadcast Network. Welcome back to historic Hardings Field in Newport, Rhode Island. I'm Mike Lode with Nick Leamer, and as the Gulls come to bat in the bottom of the 4th inning, they will send the top of the order up. Kyle Rode leading off, and he takes the breaking pitch for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Rode, who walked and had a single and a stolen base. The first 2 hitters have accounted for 3, knocking home 3 of the first 4 Gull runs as the 0-1 pitch is taken high for ball 1. Scoring the bunt was Rode, but pulled back in time. Rode, coming into the game batting .264 out of Fastoria, Ohio, awaits the 1-1 pitch, and here it comes. The fastball is swung on and lined to center field. Coming on is Gallick, and it drops in front of him for a base hit. So the dangerous Kyle Rode gets a leadoff single here in the bottom of the 4th inning, and that'll bring up the catcher, number 4, Mike Mielo, who doubled home a run back in the 1st inning and knocked home another run with the sacrifice fly back in the 2nd inning. And Kyle Rode is 15 for 15 in stolen bases thus far, and with the Gulls ahead 4-1, it's more than likely that Coach Coombs is going to send him. Mielo batting left-handed. The snap throw over to first base and diving back in time is Rode, who plays his college ball at Eastern Michigan. Mike Mielo plays his college ball at Elon. He was the most valuable player in the All-Star game. The runner goes. The pitch is low in the dirt. The throw to second is not in time. So I sound like a worn-out recording of a favorite song when I say a stolen base for Kyle Rode. That's 16 for 16, sweet 16.
Second of the ball game, his 5th in his last 3 starts.
I don't know what time I'm getting out of work. It depends who shows up, but I'll call up at the stadium when I find out. I'll call up. All right, I might not be there. As the 0-1 pitch misses high for ball 1, the count is even at 1-1 for Mielo. As a matter of fact, Nick, 2 Gulls catchers made the All-Star team. That shows how deep they are at the catcher position.
Jack Murphy as well.
Runner on second base, nobody out. The pitch is swung on and followed back to the screen, so the count is 1-2 to Mike Mielo, who comes into the game with a .324 average. And that's very unusual, Nick, for a catcher to have that high of a batting average. Mielo batting left-handed against right-handed pitching Andrew Janiga.
He's batting .400 for much of the month of June.
The 1-2 pitch, the breaking pitch is taken on the inside corner for a called strike 3. That is strikeout number 5 now for Andrew Janiga. So he struck out 5 of the first 7 Gull hitters that he's faced, and there's 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. That'll bring up the DH number 6, Mike Tamsen.
Tamsen needs a couple more hits. Try and vie for that NECBL all-time batting title. He's all but secured the Newport Gulls all-time batting record. His average sitting at .431 for the moment. And we're going to have a brief mound visit here.
Looks like pitching coach Greg Sullivan coming out to have a quick chat with Janiga. And Nick, I basically think it's probably pitching strategy on how to deal with Rode at second base, because Janiga's been on fire. There'd be no reason to take him out at this stage of the game.
Absolutely. And with Tamsen at the plate, with the lead hitter in the league.
So just to give you a quick overview of this ballpark for those of you listening for the first time, there are hockey-style dugouts at both along the first base line, very little space down third base. And it looks like we are going to have a relief pitcher.
Well, that's very surprising. Janiga has struck out. Well, he's recorded all strikeouts on 5. Well, yeah, 5 of the outs he's recorded have been by way of the strikeout. I saw it hit and a couple of walks, but that's going to do it for him. We'll keep it here live during the pitching change as the Manchester Silkworms will go to their 3rd pitcher of the night. Very surprising. I wonder if Janiga maybe had a pinch count he was on. I don't know when the last time he worked.
Either that or he may have pulled up lame. I don't know, but he looked good there. I didn't see him. You know, he didn't appear to be in any kind of pain. So that'll bring up number 31. That is J.J. Patricus. And for Patricus, this is going to be his 17th appearance. He's got 1 win and 1 loss, an ERA of 7.02. He's pitched 16.2 innings, given up 22 hits, 14 runs, 13 earned, 9 walks, 14 strikeouts. Opponents hitting .306 against him. If you have any questions or comments about this broadcast, you can email me at mj040862@hotmail.com. Again, M as in Mike, J as in Joe, 040862@hotmail.com. And looking ahead to tomorrow, the Silkworms come back home to Rogers Park, where they will take on the Danbury Westerners in a doubleheader. The first game is at 4:30 in the afternoon. It's a makeup game for the game that was rained out last Wednesday, originally scheduled for Rogers Park, and then the nightcap will be at the regular 7 p.m. starting time, so tune in, and I will have the play-by-play with TJ Buzzio, the voice of the Westerners, along with Merrill Meyer, the voice of the Silkworms, as Patrick is taking his tosses. And for the Newport Gulls, for all intents and purposes, they have clinched the playoff spot. The only question is, can they catch the Pittsfield Dukes to get home field advantage throughout the Southern Division?
Pittsfield did drop that first game of their doubleheader against the Torrington Twisters 1-0 at Pittsfield, 1 o'clock this afternoon. So Newport, for the moment, is a half a game back of Pittsfield. Now, if they hold on to win here today and Pittsfield loses game 2, Newport will be back in first place out of nowhere, really.
And stepping up to the plate, the designated hitter, number 6, Mike Tamsin. Tamsin, 0 for 1, he grounded the short back in the first inning and walked. The left-handed pitcher takes the first pitch from Patricus, a fastball low and inside for ball 1.
And we have good news for Newport Gulls fans. Top of the 4th inning at Pittsfield, Keene leads the Pittsfield Dukes 7-1 for a 6-run top of the 4th for Keene in game 2 of that split doubleheader.
The 1-0 pitch, the fastball, is taken for a delayed called strike, so the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. That's very surprising. The Swamp Bats, who are up among the league leaders in the Northern Division, dropped 5 games in a row, and they've had no offense whatsoever, and now they've come back with a vengeance against the Pittsfield Dukes. So back to this game. 1-1 is the count to Tamsin, runner on at second base. That's Kyle Rode. The fastball is taken at the belt for a called strike. Tamsin doesn't like the call as he turns and walks out of the batter's box, and the umpire, home plate umpire, orders him back into the box. Boy, that's unusual, Nick. I've never seen that.
Yeah, and Mike Coombs will come out of the dugout here to have a word, and he's going to be called off by home plate umpire Richard Emerson. Coombs has a couple of words here with Emerson and is just pushing him away and refuses to talk to him. He's not even looking at him. And now he looks out at the base umpire. Coombs turns around. And now both umpires will pause the game for a moment as Coombs still has a couple words for him. Coombs gives an A-OK sign as he looks back sort of sarcastically. Didn't look like he was very happy with the way Emerson was talking to Tamsin.
And Emerson taking some notes.
That's very odd. Mike Coombs has to be careful. He can't afford to be ejected again. His season would be all but over. He's only been ejected once this season. It's automatic multiple game suspension if you're ejected twice. So Tamsin will step back in. Now digs in.
The count is 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out here, bottom of the 4th inning. The Gulls lead the Silkworms 4-1. The pitch is swung on and fouled off over the third base side out onto America Cup Ave. So the count remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes to Mike Tamsin. The Gulls wearing their home uniforms, white pants, white shirts, a red stripe outlined in blue. The numbers are blue with red outline. The caps are blue. As the 1-2 pitch is taken for a called strike on the inside corner. So J.J. Patricus is picking up where Janika left off with the strikeout, and Tamsin not liking the call, and he's jarring with the home plate umpire. So that'll bring up the first baseman, number 14, Alex Gregory, who was caught looking in the first inning and walked in the second. The Silkworms wearing their road uniforms, gray pants with the black shirt, green numbers outlined in yellow.
Well, the fans here having some very, very harsh words for that home plate umpire. And, of course, we don't know exactly what it was. I mean, the pitcher was pretty close, but I don't know. Maybe he said something to Tamsin that the fans overheard that we missed. We don't know. But we have a brief delay here now.
So there are 2 outs, runner still at second base for the Newport Gulls. They lead 4-1. I'm Mike Lode with Nick Lima. Glad you can join us as nightfall is setting upon us here in Newport, Rhode Island, and the lights starting to take effect. as Alex Gregory doesn't even have his batting helmet on. He's out of the batter's box. I don't know what's going on here. As Gregory is looking down at the third base coach, and J.J. Patrick is taking warm-up tosses here. It's 8 o'clock here on the East Coast in Newport, Rhode Island. And I still don't know what's going on. The home plate umpire is looking over towards the Gulls dugout.
Well, I mean, we have an official word. Mike Tampson was ejected. Tampson ejected for arguing balls and strikes. We didn't see him make an ejection motion. And is that, is that Tampson leaving? Yes, it is. So Tampson was ejected, and we had to wait until he left the ballpark before resuming play. That's what we were waiting for. He had to pack up his things and leave. So he'll have to serve a one-game suspension.
Alex Gregory stepping into the box. And the breaking pitch is taken on the outside corner for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Gregory, who comes into tonight's game batting .313. He struck out looking back in the first inning and walked in the second inning. 2 outs, runner on second base for the Gulls. They lead it 4-1 here. Patricus with the breaking ball taken inside for ball 1, so that makes the count even at 1 ball, 1 strike.
And, we didn't really see Tampson argue all that much. He must have said something that just wasn't right for the home plate umpire to handle, to be thrown out of the game.
The infield in for the Silkworms. The 1-1 pitch is taken low for ball 2. The count is 2 balls and 1 strike to Alex Gregory.
And you got to hope that doesn't harm Tampson's attempt for that league record in batting average. Of course, he'll have to serve a suspension tomorrow, so he won't have any at-bats, so he'll stay right where it is right now.
Kyle Conley in the on-deck circle for the Gulls. Here's the 2-1 pitch. The breaking pitch just misses inside for ball 3, so the count is 3-1 now to Alex Gregory, who resides in Great Falls, Virginia, and plays his college ball at Radford. Gregory, 6'2", 210-pound right-handed batter, calls timeout, steps out of the batter's box. Sean O'Hara playing just in back of the bag at third base. And the rest of the infield for the Silkworms back now with 2 outs. Patricus gets the sign from Borden. The windup, the 3-1 pitch misses low for ball 4, so Alex Gregory draws his second walk of the night. And the Gulls have runners on first and second with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. That'll bring up the left fielder, number 26, Kyle Conley. Conley knocked home an RBI back in the first inning with a double high off the left field fence here at Cardines Field. So Conley out of Richland, Washington, came all the way across country to be here. Swings at the first pitch, a ground ball to the left side. Raspaski has it. Off balance throw to first base. Just got him by a step. Outstanding play by the shortstop, A.J. Raspaski. And the Newport dugout not liking the caller's arm with the umpire, so that'll do it for the Gulls here in the bottom of the 4th inning. They get no runs on 1 hit and leave 2 runners. We've completed 4 innings here at historic Cardines Field in Newport, Rhode Island. And the score remains the Newport Gulls 4, the Manchester Silkworms 1. You're listening and watching this game on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Welcome back to historic Cardines Field in Newport, Rhode Island. I'm Mike Lord with Nick Lima. As the Silkworms come to bat in the top of the 5th inning against Tom Costigan, they will send up the bottom of the order, and leading off for the Silkworms here in the top of the 5th inning, the second baseman, number 10, Ryan Piacentini, who had a walk back in the 2nd inning. Piacentini plays his college ball at Trinity, who won the Division III national title and came oh so close to perfection, only losing 1 game the entire season. They went through the regular season undefeated. The right-handed batter awaits the first pitch from Costigan. It's a fastball taken at the knees for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Piacentini, who resides in Portland, Maine. The 0-1 pitch catches the outside corner for a called strike. The count is quickly 0-2 to Ryan Piacentini. The Gulls infield playing back except for the third baseman, David Cunningham. He's even with the bag. The 0-2 pitch, the fastball just misses outside for ball 1. The count is even at 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Gulls lead it 4-1 here as we start the top of the 5th inning. The break-in pitch is swung on and fouled off over the first base dugouts and out onto America Cup Ave, so the count remains at 1-2 strikes. Silkworms desperately need a win as the 5th place Torrington Twisters defeated the Pittsfield Dukes earlier today by a score of 1-0. As the 1-2 pitch, a high fastball inside, misses for ball 2. The count is even at 2-2. Outfield playing fairly deep for Piacentini. Costin gets a sign he likes. The 2-2 pitch, the fastball is swung on and line foul down the first base line. The count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes. Cardines Field, 325 down the left field line, 380 to center field. 310 the right center, then it goes back to 347, then it's only 280 down the right field line. A 28-foot high cyclone fence through most of the park. Swinging at the 2-2 pitches, Piacentini, and he hits a ground ball to the right side and fielded by Poutier in the outfield grass. He gets up and makes the throw to Alex Gregory for the out.
Well, there's a diving stop by Poutier to his left. An outstanding play to get him by half a step.
And it looked like a delay called by the umpire. That's why it took me a while to give you, the folks at home, the out call. But what an outstanding play by Poutier, as he made a great play in the last meeting between these two teams to prevent the Silkworms from getting any more runs. That'll bring up the catcher Michael Borden, who takes the breaking pitch over the heart of the plate for a called strike. So, Nick, needless to say, that's the defensive play of the game by David Poutier.
Oh, outstanding.
0-1 pitch, the breaking pitch is swung on in line, fouled down the first base line. The count is quickly no balls and 2 strikes.
I have the full story in the Mike Tamsin ejection. Apparently the count was 0-2. He stepped out of the box for a moment, walked around, which he typically does, and the umpire ordered him back in the box.
The 0-2 pitch, the fastball is swung on the line to the screen and back of home plate.
And Tamsin was surprised by that. He asked the umpire, why do I have to go back in the box? And he just pointed the box and ordered him back in the box again. And then that's when Mike Coombs came on the dugout and said, why are you asking my player to get back in the box? He can take all the time he needs. And the umpire again pointed to the box.
Borden behind 0-2. The pitch is taken up and in for ball 1, so the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, that is unusual, Nick.
And it was after that he took a called third strike, and when a pitcher was inside, Tamsin didn't say anything to the umpire. He mumbled something to himself on the way back to the dugout, and it was then that the umpire ejected him. So Tamsin actually didn't even have any words for the umpire. He was ejected for mumbling something to himself about the call, which is very odd.
1-2 pitch is lined over the fence, foul into the stands, so evidently the home plate umpire has rabbit ears. As the wind up, the 1-2 pitch misses high for ball 2. The count is even at 2-2. 1 out here, top of the 5th inning. The Newport Gulls lead the Manchester Silkworms 4-1. I'm Mike Lode with Nick Lima. Glad you can join us. As the 2-2 pitch, the fastball is swung on and missed for strike 3 as Tom Costigan is just throwing some smoke out there, Nick.
Costigan is pitching perhaps the best we've ever seen him here. He hasn't allowed an earned run yet in this ball game, just the one unearned run which came across for the Silkworms in the 4th.
And that will bring up the third baseman, number 6, Sean O'Hara, who grounded out back in the 3rd inning. Another fastball misses low for ball 1. The count is 1-0 to O'Hara, who plays his college ball at Harvard and resides in Gloucester. Coming into tonight's game, batting 194. He takes the fastball on the outside corner for a called strike, so the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike, and still only 1 hit so far for the Silkworms. That was the leadoff infield single by Michael Gallick back in the 2nd inning. The 1-1 pitch, the breaking pitch, just misses inside. It skips off the mid of Mike Mielo, but no harm because there are no base runners, so the count is 2 balls and 1 strikes now to Sean O'Hara. The Gulls won the first game here against the Lowell All-Americans 9-2. So the Gulls improved their record to 23-16. The 2-1 pitch is swung on, ground ball to the right side. Poutier has it, picks it up, fires to Gregory at first base for the out. 4-3 if you're scoring at home. So Tom Costigan sets the Silkworms down in order here in the top of the 5th inning. And midway through the game, the score remains the Newport Gulls 4, the Manchester Silkworms 1. You're listening and watching this game on the NECPL Broadcast Network. Welcome back to historic Hardings Field in Newport, Rhode Island. I'm Mike Lode with Nick Lima. And as the Newport Gulls come to bat in the bottom of the 5th inning against J.J. Petrikis, the third pitcher for the Manchester Silkworms, he will face the 6, 7, 8 hitters for the Gulls. And leading off for the Gulls, the third baseman, number 17, David Cunningham, who struck out twice. The first time was caught looking, and the second time he was out swinging on strikes.
Well, Sanford won the first game against Holyoke in their doubleheader today in Sanford, Maine. Now they're tied at 3, heading into the bottom of the 5th. In Game 2, Sanford Mainers and the Holyoke Blue Sox. Sanford won the first game 10-4.
The first pitch to Cunningham, the fastball is taken at the belt for a called strike in. Holyoke is in 5th place and coming in 1 game behind the Vermont Mountaineers, needing to win, so they're slipping further out of playoff contention.
Vermont's hosting North Shore today.
The breaking pitch catches the inside corner for a called strike, so the count is quickly 0-2 to David Cunningham, who plays his college ball for the Tigers of Auburn, a football powerhouse.
Torrington beat Pittsfield 1-0. Game 1 of that doubleheader. They'll playing Keene in Game 2. Keene has a lead right now.
The 0-2 pitch is taken high for a fastball. High for ball 1. So Petrikis tried to get Cunningham to chase something outside the strike zone to no avail. Petrikis gets set. The windup, the 1-2 pitch, the breaking pitch is swung on. Running to his left is Rasparski. Fields it behind the second base bag and fires over to Cunningham at first. Fires over to first to J.D. Broderick for out number 1. That's going to go 6-3 if you're scoring at home. So with 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th inning, that'll bring up the right fielder, number 29, Joey Manning, who is 0 for 1 on the night. He had a walk and struck out swinging back in the 3rd inning.
Last night around the league, Sanford swept the doubleheader over Keene, 6-5 Game 1, 9-4 in Game 2. North Adams Steeplecats walloped Danbury Westerners 14-4 in Game 1 and defeated Danbury 2-0 in Game 2 of that doubleheader. Vermont over Pittsfield 7-5.
And of course, Danbury without their all-star shortstop Michael Olt as he pulled up lame, trying to leg out a double play against the Silkworms. Squaring the bunt is Manning, and it's bunted foul down the 3rd base line, so the count is 0-1 to Manning, who, like David Cunningham, plays his college baseball in the Southeast Conference. Manning plays for Vanderbilt in the Music City in Nashville, Tennessee, and Manning resides in Bartow, Florida.
Last night, Holyoke at North Shore washed away. Torrington at Manchester right now. It's the 15th rainout of the season for the Twisters.
The 0-1 pitch, the fastball misses low for ball 1. The count is even at 1-1 to Joey Manning, who stands at 6'5", 235 pounds, a very imposing figure out there. And as I mentioned before, hit the longest home run in the history of Northwest Park over the center field fence. The 1-1 pitch misses low and outside for ball 2. So the count is 2 balls and 1 strike now to Manning. Sean O'Hara, the third baseman, playing just in back of the bag at third. The rest of the infield playing back. J.D. Broderick, the first baseman, creeping over toward the bag at first base. Is getting back in the box is Joey Manning. The right-handed batter awaits the 2-1 pitch from Petrikis. Here it comes. The fastball misses low for ball 3. The count is 3-1. And looking at the flag down the right field line, it's barely moving from right to left. So very pleasant evening here for baseball. Temperatures have cooled off to, I would say, around 68, 69 degrees. Petrikis gets set. The windup, the 3-1 pitch. The breaking pitch is swung on and missed for strike 2, so the count is full to Joey Manning. David Porter in the on-deck, David Poutier in the on-deck circle for the Newport Gulls. As Joey Manning steps out of the box, now he steps back in. The outfield playing very deep for Manning, respecting his power. The payoff pitch, the breaking pitch just misses for ball 4. So Joey Manning draws his second walk of the game, and with 1 out, the Gulls have a runner on first base, and that will bring up the second baseman, number 12, David Poutier. Poutier has drawn 2 walks tonight, Nick, but more importantly, his work with the leather has been nothing less than impressive.
Gulls have had very solid defense in the last 5 games. kept them on this now 3-game winning streak, trying to extend it to 4 here tonight.
The first pitch, the fastball in the dirt. It gets by Michael Borden, and taking second base on the wild pitch is going to be Joey Manning. So the Gulls, who already lead the Silkworms 4-1 here, are in good position to pad an insurance run as Joey Manning takes second base on the wild pitch. It looked like about a 58-foot fastball, and it caromed off the glove of Michael Borden.
Another score update out of Pittsfield. Keene Swap Bats 7, Pittsfield Dukes 1, last of the 5th. Pittsfield batting. It's a 7-inning game, I believe.
The 1-0 pitch, the fastball is taken for a called strike. The count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike to Poutier. And Patrikis is throwing some smoke. He's got to be up around 90 miles an hour with that fastball.
Actually, that may be a 9-inning game they're playing in Pittsfield tonight, since the first game against Torrington was 7.
As the 1-1 pitch misses high for ball 2, the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. And with the runner on second base, Sean O'Hara, the third baseman, comes in over toward the bag at third. The rest of the infield is back. Patrikis gets the sign from Borden, checks the runner. The pitch misses low and outside for ball 3. The count is 3 balls and 1 strike now to Poutier, who plays his college ball at Pensacola Community College, resides in Yorktown, Virginia. The right-handed batter stands at 5'11", 185 pounds. Comes into tonight's game batting .235. Patrikis gets set. The 3-1 pitch misses high for ball 4. So that's the third time tonight that Poutier has walked. And for the Silkworms pitch, and that is walk number 9. So on the season, that is walk number 200 issued by Silkworms pitching coach Greg Sullivan having a slow walk out towards the mound, as well as the catcher Mike Borden. And Nick, when you're pitching yields 200 free passes, and this is their 40th game, that's an average of 5 per game. It's going to be very difficult to win games, especially against a team like the Newport Gulls.
The shortstop, number 2, Cody Grisham.
So that'll bring up the shortstop, number 2, Cody Grisham, who had a sacrifice bunt back in the second inning and struck out looking in the third. Runners on first and second for the Gulls. 1 out, bottom of the 5th inning. They lead 4-1. The fastball is taken for a called strike at the belt. The count is 0-1 to Grisham. Another Southeast Conference player plays for the Volunteers at Tennessee. And of course, the Lady Vols won their 2nd straight national title in women's basketball. And swinging at the 0-1 pitch and having plenty of home run distance is Cody Grisham. Unfortunately, he got out in front of that pitch and drove it foul.
That one landed by the visitor center across the street, across 4 lanes of traffic.
So somebody over in the visitor center is going to get that souvenir.
By the bus port.
The 0-2 pitch just misses outside with the fastball, so the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes to Grisham, who resides in Boonsville, Mississippi. Runner still on first and second, 1 out, bottom of the 5th. The Gulls lead 4-1. In good shape to win their 3rd doubleheader this season. As the 1-2 pitch just misses outside with the breaking pitch, so the count is now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kyle Rode in the on-deck circle for the Newport Gulls. About 3,000 people here, jam-packed in historic Cardines Field. Patrikis gets the sign, the 2-2 pitch, the fastball just misses for ball 3. The count is 3 balls and 2 strikes. So Patrikis doing a good job getting ahead of the hitters early, but he just can't put them away. Checking the runners, and they got Manning caught in the rundown between second and third as Patrikis runs Manning back to the bag. Now he gets it to Piacentini. The throw over to O'Hara, and O'Hara chases Manning and catches him from behind. And taking second base on the pickle is David Poutier. So that's going to go from 1 to 4 to 5. Yeah, I think it's going to go 1 to 4 to 5 on the pickoff. Okay, 1-6-5. My mistake is it was the shortstop A.J. Rasbowski who took the throw and made the out throw to Sean O'Hara. So, with 2 outs here, the Silkworms catch a big break. Joey Manning picked off. Petrikis momentarily stepped off the bag. Now he steps back in. Poutier taking a big lead off of second base. And the pitch is swung on and lined down the right field foul off the side of the warehouse that starts on the edge of the right field line. I'd hate to be a right fielder chasing a high pop-up. There's no warning track there, and colliding with a concrete building. If I were a betting man, I'd give the building the odds of winning that
it would
collision.
have all the momentum there.
As the payoff pitch is taken high for ball 4, so that's the 3rd consecutive walk issued by J.J. Petrikis. And now there are runners on first and second with 2 outs, and had it not been for the pickoff play by Petrikis, the Gulls would have had bases loaded with 1 out. So that'll bring up the center fielder, number 3, Kyle Rode, who's 2 for 2. He had a walk and 2 singles.
2 stolen bases on the night as well.
And the pitch is swung on, grounded, just fouled down the third base line over the bag.
Those 2 stolen bases on the night give him 16 in the season. That'll make him tied for a second in the NECBL with Shiva Shima, Adam Domino, and Jaron Matthews.
So the runners will retreat to the bag. Cody Grisham on it first, Poutier on it second. The count is 0-1 to Kyle Rode. The 0-1 pitch, the fastball misses low for ball 1. The count is even at 1-1. And should Kyle Rode get a walk or a single, it would be the first time that he can't attempt a stolen base as there are runners in front of him. The count is 1-1 now to Kyle Rode. The pitch, the fastball, catches the outside corner for a called strike. The count is 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Rode, who plays his college ball at Eastern Michigan, resides in Astoria, Ohio. Runners taking a big lead. Two out here, bottom of the 5th inning. The windup, the 1-2 pitch is swung on and fouled back to the facade of the roof behind home plate here, so the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Well, some light showers are hovering just to our east here in downtown Newport. Just a little light rain shower popped up out of nowhere over there. Doesn't look like it's doing anything though. May not even be hitting the ground. That definitely won't affect us here.
Checking the runners is Petrikis. The 1-2 pitch swung on and missed for strike 3. As Petrikis went upstairs with the fastball, getting Rode the swing and miss. So that'll do it for the Gulls here in the bottom of the 5th inning. They get no runs on no hits and leave 2. We've completed 5 innings here at Cardines Field in Newport, Rhode Island, and the score remains the Newport Gulls 4, the Manchester Silkworms 1. You're listening and watching this game on the NECBL Broadcast Network. And welcome back to historic Cardines Field. I'm Mike Lord with Nick Leamer as the Silkworms come to bat in the top of the 6th inning, and time is running out as they trail the Newport Gulls 4-1 in a must-win situation for the Silkworms as the Twisters won earlier. The Gulls are already in. The only question is, where are they going to finish? As stepping up is the left fielder Mark Mikowski, who takes the first pitch from Tom Costigan outside for ball 1. Mikowski is 0 for 2, flew out twice. He squares the bunt, pulls the bunt back, but the pitch is taken for a called strike to even up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Mike, we're talking about emails and emailing us. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, we'll pause for the pitch.
The 1-1 pitch is swung on and lined to the gap and right. Running to his left is Joey Manning. He's got to play it off the fence. And taking the big turn at first base is Mikowski, and he has to retreat quickly as Joey Manning gets a good throw back in. So the Silkworms get a leadoff single in the form of Mark Mikowski's line drive off the right field fence here.
Just got an email from an international viewer listener watching the game at noon on Tuesday, of course today's Monday, but on Tuesday in Auckland, New Zealand. It is Tuesday there. So international viewers checking in live here in the ACBL Broadcast Network. Thank David Nwama for his email.
So as I'm talking in the sleep of most people over in Australia and New Zealand, stepping up to the plate is the shortstop number 2, A.J. Rasparski, who's 0 for 2, grounded out in the pop-out. The first pitch from Costigan is taken low in the dirt for ball 1. Nobody out here, top of the 6th inning. Runner on at first base for the Silkworms, who trail the Gulls 4-1. A Mike Load with Nick Lima. Snap throw over to first base, and getting back standing up is Mikowski. Mikowski acquired from the Sanford Mainers. He's 3 for 5 in stolen base attempts. But being down by 3 runs, I don't think the Silkworms are going to gamble. Swinging at the pitches, Rasparski hits it to the gap in deep left field, and it's caught right at the warning track by Kyle Rode, who made a long run and caught the ball right in front of the fence in deep left center field. And Mark Mikowski has to retreat to first base.
He backed into the wall on that one. That was it a long way to one of the deepest parts of this ballpark out by the triangle.
So with 1 out and 1 on, that'll bring up the DH number 28, Matt Grasso, who plays his college ball for the Fighting Irish at Notre Dame. He's 0 for 1. A ground out in the walk. The first pitch is taken inside. Bluffing the steal is Mikowski, and quickly jumping up is Mike Mielo. Mielo's got a rifle arm. I don't think Mikowski's going to want to risk running on him, trailing by 3 runs here.
Between Melillo and Murphy, 2 of the better defensive catchers in this league, the Newport Gulls have some great catchers.
And a snap throw over to first base, and getting back standing up is A.J. Rasparski. I'm sorry, it's Mark Mikowski. The runner goes, the pitch is taken low to throw to second. He is out! As the field umpire delayed in making the call, it looked very close, but Mark Mikowski is erased onto the 10th at steal.
Let's see the replay. Oh, our camera just missed it, but it was close. It was very close at second base.
So
Mikowski caught stealing.
Another base running blunder for the Silkworms, and there are now 2 outs with nobody on. And the Silkworms still trail the Gulls 4-1.
That's the 3rd time he's caught stealing this season. He's 3 for 6 now.
The 2-0 pitch is taken for a called strike, so the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. Boy, getting caught stealing that many times, that's a felony in some states. As the 2-1 pitch sails outside for ball 3, the count is 3 balls and 1 strike to Matt Grasso. The 3-1 pitch, the inside fastball swung on and fouled off the umpire's mask. So the count is 3 balls and 2 strikes. Good thing for face masks, Nick. Otherwise, that umpire would be a candidate for extreme makeover.
Yeah, that was right off the front of the mask. Wasn't fazed by it, though. Walked up and had a quick chuckle with Tom Costigan.
The count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here, top of the 6th inning. The Grasso, the payoff pitch, swung on and lined the left field for a base hit. So Matt Grasso, who leads the Silkworms with the .324 average, comes up with a big hit with 2 outs here. So with 2 outs in the top of the 6th inning, that'll bring up the center fielder, number 9, Michael Gallick. As Tom Costigan threw a fastball outside, and Matt Grasso doing what he does best, just going with the pitch and lining it to the wide open hole to the left side for a base hit. So for Matt Grasso, that's his 48th hit on the season, by and far the team leader. Michael Gallick coming up. He swings at the first pitch, and it's fisted foul over one of the first base dugouts, as we have both dugouts down the first base line here, hockey-style dugouts at historic Hardings Field. The sky kind of dark here. No rain yet. The lights taking full effect here at Hardings Field. In Newport, Rhode Island, the home of the singing group, the Cowsills. The 0-1 pitch is taken for a called strike at the belt. The count is quickly 0-2 to Michael Gallick, who plays his college ball at Marist, resides in Tolland. So that base hit by Grasso was only the second hit by the Silkworms, the other hit by Michael Gallick, who's up the bat now. The 0-2 pitch is taken high and inside for ball one, so the count is 1-2 now for Michael Gallick. 2 outs here, top of the 6th inning. I'm Mike Lord with Nick Lima as the Newport Gulls lead the Manchester Silkworms 4-1. The Gulls won earlier today against the Lowell All-Americans, so the Gulls in great shape to win their 3rd straight doubleheader. Gregory holding runner on at first. The 1-2 pitch taken for a called strike 3 right at the knees. Michael Gallick was totally frozen on the breaking pitch, so that'll do it for the Silkworms here in the top of the 6th inning. They get no runs on 2 hits and leave a runner. We're midway through the 6th inning here at Cardines Field, and the score remains the Newport Gulls 4, the Manchester Silkworms 1. You're listening and watching this game on the NECPL Broadcast Network. Welcome back to Cardines Field in Newport, Rhode Island. I'm Mike Lord with Nick Lima, and as the Gulls come to bat in the bottom of the 6th inning, they will face another pitcher for the Silkworms, the 4th of the game, and that's going to be number 26, Mike Anarumo, out of Lemoyne College, Levittown, New York. And for the left-hander, this is going to be his 15th appearance. He's got 1 win, 1 loss, 7.36 ERA, pitched 18 innings, given up 23 hits, 20 runs, 15 earned, walked 9, struck out 14. As the left-hander's first pitch to Mike Maiello is taken for ball 1. Anarumo's last decision was a loss July 11th up at Alumni Field in Keene, New Hampshire against the Swamp Bats, as the 1-0 pitch is taken for a called strike at the knees. Anarumo working quickly, winds up, fires the 1-1 pitch. It's swung on and fouled over our heads out onto America Cup Ave, and I think that one actually reached the fire station behind us. Count is 1 ball and 2 strikes, so Mike Anarumo, the 4th pitcher for the Manchester Silkworms. Lights have taken full effect here at Cardines Field. The 1-2 pitch just misses outside. The count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Anarumo. Looking ahead to tomorrow, the Silkworms return home to take on the Westerners in the doubleheader. The first game at 4:30, a makeup game from last Wednesday's rainout. The 2-2 pitch is swung on, grounded to the right. Piacentini runs to his left. He bobbles the ball and doesn't even attempt the play. And it's going to go as an E4. So Mike Maiello reaches first base via the error. So the Gulls get the leadoff batter aboard, and that'll bring up, well, I was going to say Mike Tamsen, but he was ejected. It's going to be a new designated hitter, and it's going to be number 30 for the Newport Gulls. That is Ryan Wiegand. Now, I'll tell you, not very popular in Manchester, Connecticut, Nick, is Ryan Wiegand. And why? Because he came in off the bench and knocked home the winning run in the 1-0 game here at Cardines Field.
And he's been effective this season as a pinch hitter for the Newport Gulls.
So Wiegand doing what he does best, coming off the bench for the Gulls to give him some offense. And Wiegand plays his college ball at Gonzaga, resides in San Diego, California, stands at 6'4", 250. He swings and towers it a mile in the air to deep right field. Jeff Cammon's under it and makes the catch for out number 1, as retreating the first base is Mike Maiello. I'll tell you, Nick, with the heavy cloud cover over here at Newport, I thought that ball was going to go up in the clouds and bring down some rain. So with 1 out here, that'll bring up the first baseman, number 14, Alex Gregory, who is 0 for 1. He struck out back in the first inning, walked in the second, and walked in the 4th. So with 1 out here, J.D. Broderick, the first baseman, holding the runner on at first base. As the pitch to Gregory is taken outside for ball 1. The count is 1-0 to Gregory. Gregory, a right-handed batter, stands at 6'2", 210 pounds. The wind starting to pick up a little here at Cardines Field. Very comfortable night. As the 1-0 pitch misses low in the dirt for ball 2. Gregory ahead in the count quickly, 2 balls and no strikes.
Gregory's batting an even 315 for 30 this season. With the bases empty, of course, runners on here. He's batting 321 with runners on base.
The 2-0 pitch is taken outside for ball 3. The count is 3-0 to Alex Gregory. So the Gulls are 3 innings away from completing their third sweep of a doubleheader this season. The 3-1 pitch is taken low for ball 4, so Gregory draws his third consecutive walk. And let's see, for the Silkworms pitching, that is 11 walks. Unbelievable. So they're approaching Lowell's record of 15.
Yep.
So Nick, when I'm on my way home, if the toll taker says to me free passes, I'll say, sorry,
You don't have
pal.
any either.
I left him at Cardines Field. So that'll bring up the left fielder, number 26, Kyle Conley, who doubled home a run back in the first inning. Since then, he struck out and grounded out. As Conley takes the off-speed pitch for ball 1, as Michael Borden, the catcher, made a nice play, having to leap out and prevent that from being a wild pitch. So runners on first and second for the Gulls here. 1 out, bottom of the 6th inning. They lead the Silkworms 4-1. I'm Mike Lord with Nick Lima. Glad you can join us. As the runners taking a big lead, Anarumo checking the runners. The 1-0 pitch. The fastball is swung on and grounded foul down the third baseline to even up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. And the Newport Gulls are not only 3 innings away from sweeping their third doubleheader of the season, but they're 3 innings away from completing a 3-game sweep of the Manchester Silkworms here at Cardines Field. So if they can pull that off, I'll call them the Newport Sweep instead of the Newport Gulls. As Anarumo winds up and fires a breaking pitch, the 1-1 pitch is swung on and fouled back over our heads. The count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes to Kyle Conley.
Coming up in between innings, we'll try to take another live look in Pittsfield, Massachusetts, as the Dukes play the Swamp Bats tonight. So stay tuned.
Bob Lund with Mike Radomski doing the play-by-play there. Back to the action here. Conley steps back into the box. Checking the runners is Anarumo. Once, twice. The windup, the 1-2 pitch. Swung on, did he go around the appeal play? Yes, he did, says the field umpire. So Kyle Conley goes down on strikes, and there are 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning, and that'll bring up the third baseman, number 17, David Cunningham, who was 0 for 3. Cunningham 0 for 3, struck out twice and grounded to the shortstop. 2 outs, 2 on for the Gulls. Runners on first and second. The first pitch, the breaking pitch, is taken up and away for ball 1. Cunningham resides in Roswell, Georgia. Plays his college ball at Auburn University. The runner's taking a big lead with 2 outs. The infield is back for the Silkworms. Anarumo with the windup. The 1-0 pitch is taken low in the dirt for ball 2. The count is 2-0 to David Cunningham. And looking ahead to the top of the 7th inning, the Silkworms will send up the 4, 5, 6 hitters. Cunningham, the right-handed batter, gets back in the box. Crowd of 3,000 people here at Cardines Field. The 2-0 pitch is swung on line to left field for a base hit. Rounded third is Mielo. The throw to the plate goes over the head of Michael Borden, and it's backed up by Mike Anarumo. So taking third on the throw is Alex Gregory, and taking second is David Cunningham. So it's going to go as an RBI single and taking an extra base on the throw. So the Newport Gulls tack on an insurance run. They lead 5-1, and runners now on at second and third base with still 2 outs. Nice piece of hitting by David Cunningham, Nick, but unfortunately, Mark Mikowski's throw, he just airmailed it, and it went over the head of the leaping Michael Borden. Fortunately, Mike Anarumo was there backing up the play.
Yeah, would have been on target if it was just a little bit lower. They could have gotten a little at the plate. Would have been close, but they would have had a chance at least.
So that'll bring up the right fielder, number 29, Joey Manning, who takes the first pitch, and it gets by Michael Borden, but it bounces off the backstop and no advance by the runners. And Nick, I think in just about any other park with the exception of Manchester, the runner scores from third because the backstop here, as well as Manchester, is roughly 25 feet behind home plate.
Well, a big difference between here and Manchester is that chain link fence. Here, there's that padding here, so it bounces back off the wall even stronger, and sometimes it will come right back to the catcher.
Get the nice ricochet, whereas against a chain link fence, it'll just die on the fence. It's kind of like an air ball in basketball, what happened there, and there's some of the crowd is chanting air ball. The 1-0 pitch is low and inside, and another nice start by the catcher, Michael Borden, as Joey Manning has to bicycle his way out of that pitch. So the count is 2-0 to the powerful Joey Manning. Mike Borden running out to the mound to have a very quick word with Mike Anarumo. Anarumo has pitched excellent in relief thus far this season for the Silkworms. So with 2 outs and 2 on, the Silkworm defense still playing back. The outfield playing deep for Joey Manning. Anarumo with the sign. The 2-0 pitch is swung on and grounded foul at the plate, so the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. Joey Manning taking a big swing, and of course the Silkworms respect his power, because if he gets a hold of one, somebody in Narragansett Bay is going to get that souvenir. Manning coming into the game batting .208. Runners on second and third. Cunningham on at second. Gregory on at third for the Gulls. They lead at 5-1. A base hit would all but put this game out of reach. As the 2-1 pitch misses low for ball 3, the count is 3-1 now to Joey Manning. David Poutier in the on-deck circle. Poutier has walked 3 times, so he may change his middle initial to W. Anarumo gets the sign from Borden. Checking the runners, the windup, the 3-1 pitch. Misses low for ball 4, so Joey Manning draws his 3rd walk of the game, and the bases are now loaded. That is the 12th walk of the game issued by Silkworm pitching, and for the Gulls, it's the 27th free pass they've been issued.
Today, incredible. And 12 walks matches what was the NECBL league high for the season, a mark which Torrington reached twice with their pitching staff. So that was broken earlier by Lowell. Still a lot of baseball left to play in this one, though.
So that'll bring up the second baseman, David Poutier, who does not have an official at bat. 3 walks. He swings at the first pitch, grounds at the second. Piercatini runs to his left, fields it, fires over to Broderick for the out. So that's going to go 4-3. That'll finally do it for the Gulls here in the bottom of the 6th inning, but not before they tack on an insurance run on 1 hit, and they leave 2 runners. We've completed 6 innings here at Cardines Field in Newport, Rhode Island, and the score is now the Newport Gulls 5, the Manchester Silkworms 1. You're listening and watching this game on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Welcome back to Cardines Field in Newport, Rhode Island. I'm Mike Lord as the Manchester Silkworms come to bat in the top of the 7th inning against Tom Costigan. To take it through the remainder of the game, the charismatic voice of the Newport Gulls, Nick Lima.
Thank you very much, Mike Lord. First pitch is high, ball 1 to Jeff Kibbins here in the 7th. Newport Gulls a 5-1 lead. Added a run in the last inning. The pitch is a liner into right center field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Kibbins launches a 1-0 fastball over the head of Poutier. And the Silkworms have their 4th hit of the night, all of them singles. An infield single lead off the 2nd. They hit the lead off the 6th from Mitkowski. Grasso single in that inning as well. Now Kamens is on. Manchester. So shut out since the 4th. The next pitch is ripped by the shortstop, diving to his right, can't get it. Grisham unable to make the play as the ball trails into center field. Back-to-back hits here. J.D. Broderick first pitch swinging, so on base for the 2nd time tonight. He reached out an error earlier. He's now 1 for 3. Now bring Ryan Piacentini to the plate here. And very quickly, Tom Costigan has allowed a couple base runners, and there is action in the Newport Gulls bullpen as Robert Morey, Gulls setup man, is warming out there. Mike Coombs starting out from the dugout. This may do it for Costigan. So here in the 7th inning, he's gone. This is his longest outing of the season so far. He had 4 starts coming into this game, but primarily was out of long relief for Newport. Coombs signals to the bullpen. We have a pitching change coming in this game from Cardines Field. We'll come back, tell you about Robert Morey next on the NECBL Broadcast Network. So a standing ovation here at Cardines Field for Tom Costigan. Very effective through 6+ innings tonight. He is responsible for both runners on base. He can win this game. He cannot lose it. As the Newport Gulls have a 5-1 lead here in the 7th inning. Manchester has runners at first and second. The tying runs in the on-deck circle for Robert Morey. Morey, a very effective reliever for Newport Gulls. A 3.66 ERA, 0-1, making his team high 16th appearance of the season. He has 2 saves. He's worked 19 2/3 innings, allowing 19 hits, 14 runs, just 8 of them earned. He's walked 10, struck out 32. A double, a triple, no homers. Opponents hitting 244 against Morey, who's thrown a wild pitch and hit 4 batters. Morey, very, very solid as that number 2 reliever behind Dan Mahoney. Often enters the setup role. Has closed out a couple games as of late. Both of his saves coming in the month of July. Now to face Ryan Piacentini, 7, 8, 9 due up here for the Silkworms, who have 2 runners on, nobody out. We're in the 7th. Newport Gulls lead 5-1.
Silkworms need to play with some urgency. Time running out. We're already in the top of the 7th inning.
Morey looks in, gets the signs from Melillo from the stretch. The pitch. Bunt, put up third base line, rolls foul. Piacentini 0 for 1. Walked in the 2nd, bounced out 4-3 to lead off the 5th. Tom Costigan had a good night. 6+ innings, allowed just 5 hits, all of them singles. 2 coming here in the 7th. Both runners, which he's responsible for. 1 run, it was unearned in the 4th inning, and he walked 2 batters. Two strikeouts for Tom Costigan. Morey looks in now on Piacentini from the stretch. The 0-1 pitch. Showing bunt, puts it off of Melillo by the plate, nothing in 2. Piacentini fails to get the bunt down. Now with 2 on and nobody out. Likely will not be bunting again. Let's see what they do. Morey looks in. Piacentini levels the bat. The 0-2 pitch. Swinging a little flare. It's going to drop into center field. A base hit. Holding up at third is Cammons as the ball is recovered by Kyle Road. Throw comes to the infield. 3 straight singles. 2 off of Costigan, 1 off of Morey have yielded a bases loaded, nobody out situation.
And a very wise decision by third base coach Al Lay for the hold-up Cammons. The Silkworms have already made 2 base running errors that have taken them out of potentially big innings. They don't want to do it here with nobody out.
Michael Borden to bat here. He's 0 for 2. Grounded to short, struck out swinging. He bats with the bases loaded. He is the tying run at the plate. Morey from the stretch, the pitch. Fastball is low for ball 1. Borden, then O'Hara due up here. From the stretch, Morey, the 1-0. Swung on, drilled to right, going back to right field remaining. He makes the catch. Here comes the throw. It will be not in time, goes to third. Crossing the plate is Jeff Cammons. It's the inning's first out. A run scores on the RBI sacrifice fly by Michael Morton to right field.
Well, the Silkworms did something they haven't been able to do much of all season. That's knocking home runners in scoring position. Even though it was an out, it was deep enough to get Cammons home from third base.
Well, the Gulls would rather give up a sacrifice fly than a hit here, as that, of course, would have played more than one run. Now Sean O'Hara, who's over two ground outs. The pitch. Fastball swung on, hit foul to the right side. And of course now third base is open. There is one out, and a double play can end the inning. So a much different situation here. So Silkworms are within 3. The tying run remains at the plate. Top of the order due up next. Broderick at second, Piacentini at first. Maury from the stretch. The 0-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Chase a sinking fastball that came inside and low. Outfield playing deep. Infield playing O'Hara to pull. 0-2 delivery. Outside, ball 1. Mark Mikowski waits on deck. He's 1 for 3. Just past 9 o'clock here at Cardines Field. The 7th inning, a 5-2 ball game. Gulls on top. 1-2 the count. Maury sets, kicks, and deals. Swing a ground ball, rolling softly. Shortstop has it, throws a second for the out. Only play was at second base for Cody Grisham. He fired right to Poutier for the force, 6-4. So it's a fielder's choice for O'Hara. Advancing to third went J.D. Broderick. And that'll put runners at the corners now with 2 out for Mark Mitkowski. So Silkworms in danger of a squander here. They had the bases loaded with nobody out, going to run home, but now 2 outs. And runners at the corners for Mitkowski, who was 1 for 3. Popped up, fly to center, and singled. The pitch, fastball outside corner, strike 1. Mitkowski, second on the team, a .258 batting average. No homers, 4 RBI. It's a double on the season. Silkworms have struggled offensively. We talked about it all night. All season long, really. 0-1. In there for a strike, nothing in 2. So Maury's ahead of Mitkowski. The crowd's looking for a strikeout. Uspaski waits on deck here, but there are 2 out. Outfield remains deep. Maury gets the signs. He comes to the set. The 0-2 pitch. Outside, ball 1. Throw to second, and they have him caught a run down. A run will score. Is Grisham's throw to Gregory, back to Poutier, gets the tag for the out that retires to side, but a run crosses the plate. So 2 runs across here in the 7th as Ryan Piacentini is caught stealing to end the inning. Mitkowski stranded at the plate. 2 runs across the plate. It's 5-3 Newport Gulls. Let's pick up Newport Gulls public address announcer Donald Henley, 7th inning stretch time here at Cardines Field. Seventh inning stretch time, 5-3. Newport Gulls lead the Manchester Silkworms. Back in a moment on the ACBL Broadcast Network. Back here now at Cardines Field. Newport Gulls lead the Manchester Silkworms 5-3. They would have played a couple of runs in the top half of this inning. Now, Newport said 9-1-2 due up to face Mike Anarumo. They've seen a lot of Anarumo this season. Cody Grisham stands in here to the pitch. Swing a ground ball, bounce softly to the second baseman. Stabbing it as Piacentini throws to first. In time, he gets a hard running Grisham. 1 pitch, 1 out for Anarumo. So we cycle around to the top of the order in Kyle Road. 2 for 3 in the night, an infield RBI single. Another hit, strikeout, a walk, a run scored, 2 stolen bases. Is that a good night?
Well, if you're a Silkworm fan, you got to be happy they got 2 runs in the last inning, and they're going to come up with the top of the order next inning.
Kyle Road takes the first pitch inside, ball 1, gets away from Borden, goes to the backstop. No runners on base. Newport Gulls at 23-16. Trying to improve to 24-16 with a win here tonight. Well, they play their final 2 games of the regular season. They'll be home tomorrow night to face the Northampton Steelcats. They'll be on the air at the pregame show at 6:05. First pitch at 6:35. Mr. 1-0 pitch is missing low ball 2. And then an off day Wednesday before, the Newport Gulls take on the Pittsfield Dukes here at Cardines Field. A battle for first place in the Southern Division on Thursday. The 2-0 pitch is swung on, hit high in the air down the right field line, giving chase J.D. Broderick, the first baseman. The second baseman comes in, and the ball drops. No one makes a play. It's going to be a single for Kyle Road, his 3rd hit of the ball game, as Broderick, Piacentini, and Kimmins converged, but the ball landed behind all of them.
Nick, on that play, Broderick overran the ball, and he knew it, so he looked at Piacentini to call on him to make the catch. And as he tried to put the brakes on, his feet just slid out from under him, and given the amount of rain we've had here in the last couple days at Cardines Field, there's probably still some wet spots out there.
And Piacentini slipped. Kimmins wasn't in a position to make the play. So the Gulls get a gift hit here in the 7th inning as their 6th hit of the ball game for Mike Melillo. He's 1 for 3, an RBI double, a sacrifice fly, strikeout, reach on an error. Check on the runner at first. Road is back standing. Now with second base open, Road has an opportunity to take sole possession of second place in the NECBL as far as stolen bases are concerned. He's tied for second right now with 16. 2 on the night. The pitch, outside, ball 1. So the Silkworms will keep a sharp eye here on Road. A lefty on the mound in Anarumo.
And Nick, giving the Gulls a gift hit is bad enough, but having it Kyle Road, that's the last thing the Silkworms wanted.
Well, 1-0. Outside, corner a called strike. It's 1-1. Road will steal home if they let him. One pitch, another check on Road. He steps back on the bag at first. Haven't heard an official attendance report yet, but it will be a sellout. We're well above 2,000. 1 out, the 1-1 pitch. Swinging a pop-up. Karam's over the net and behind the press box, lands on West Marlborough Street behind us. Strike 2.
I'm going to guess close to 3,000, Nick, and I'll tell you this, you may not get the actual crowd, especially if the fire marshal or building inspector are in attendance here.
Yeah, they'll try and keep that a few numbers short. The 1-2 pitch, strike 3, called on the inside corner. Mike Melillo goes down looking for the 2nd time tonight. 2 outs in the inning for Anarumo and the Silkworms, and the Gulls will send Ryan Wiegand to the plate. Wiegand pinch hit for Mike Timson. Fly to right is only at bat of the night. Timson had gone 0 for 2, ground out, strikeout, and walked. Timson was ejected for arguing balls and strikes in the 4th inning on what was play he probably should not have been ejected for. He mumbled something to himself while walking away from the home plate umpire, and the umpire tossed him. Here's the throw to second, and it gets away. Road may have a stolen base and more. Takes off for third. The throw goes all the way down the right field line. Road will hold up at third, though, as it's finally recovered out by the scoreboard, way up the first base line. Well, it's going to be a stolen base, E1. Kyle Road surprising everyone with that one. Stolen base puts him at second. The error by the pitcher, Anarumo, puts him at third. And Kyle Road takes sole possession of second place in the ACBL for the moment. His 17th stolen bag of the season, his 3rd of the night.
Well, talk about a comedy of errors, Nick, and nobody from the Silkworms is laughing.
So Wiegand remains at the plate here, hasn't seen a pitch yet. Extended delay, so the infielders get back into position. They all gave chase on that one, so went down the line. Now Ryan Wiegand, the lefty, stands in, pinwheels the bat, awaits the pitch from Anarumo, who comes set. Here it comes. Curve hits him. hits him where he carries his wallet. Ryan Wiegand hit by a pitch here, and I'll put runners on at the corners for Alex Gregory. Gregory has walked 3 times tonight, struck out in the first inning. Alex Gregory is the league leader in runs batted in with 38, but hasn't had any RBI in this ball game. But an opportunity now. Runners at first and third. He has 2 games left after tonight if he wants to try and break that NECBL record of 41 RBI in a season, which has stood since 1999. Alex Gregory bats here with the Gulls, a 5-3 lead. Could use some insurance here against the Silkworms. From the stretch, Anarumo, check on the runner of the pitch. Swing inside, gets away. Here comes Rode. He scores, and the Newport Gulls lead it 6-3. Taking off for second was Ryan Wiegand. It's going to be a pass ball on Michael Borden. As Rode heads up base running across the plate. Now Wiegand in scoring position. Now Gulls lead is back to 3 now. 6-3 Gulls over the Silkworms. Gregory still at the plate. The ball and no strikes. Wiegand leads up second. Anarumo checks him and fires. Ground ball bounced to the shortstop. Up with it, Ruspaski throws to first in time, inning over, but the Gulls get an insurance run here in the 7th. We don't have a winner in our Tiger TV Crew power inning as the Newport Gulls lead the Manchester Silkworms 6-3. Back in a moment on the ACBL Broadcast Network. Back here now at Cardines Field, we go to the top half of the 8th inning. Newport Gulls leading the Manchester Silkworms 6-3, and Newport may only be 6 outs away here from retaking the lead in the NECBL Southern Division. We'll stay tuned. Leading off for the Silkworms, Mikowski, or rather, it is Mark Mikowski taking the first pitch outside ball 1. Mikowski was at the plate when Sean O'Hara was caught stealing and a run scored in the 7th. 1-0 pitch. Inside and low from Maury, it's 2-0. Mikowski 1 for 3 in the night. It's down the count. No balls and 2 strikes. 6-3 Sanford defeats the Holyoke Blue Sox. Final score from Sanford, Maine. So the Mainers sweep their doubleheader with Holyoke. Next pitch is in there for a strike. Now bad news for Holyoke as they fall to 18-20 in the season. The NECBL Northern Division leading Sanford Mainers improved to 27-12 while have sole possession of first place. Next pitch, swing and a miss. Strike 2 in the counts. 3-1 now on Minkowski. 3 balls, 1 strike, the count on Minkowski. Maury winds, kicks, throws. Ground ball chopped hard, first base side. It's going to be through for a base hit. Wiegand can't get it. Covered in the right field by Joey Manning. And the Silkworms have their 7th hit of the ball game.
Nick, the Silkworms finally getting some momentum, but on the defensive end, they need to prevent the Gulls from getting any insurance runs, and they were unable to do that in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Silkworms have had 7 hits. They've had the leadoff man on 5 times tonight, but they've only managed 3 runs. They've only left 3 on base. They've been issued 2 walks. They had a base runner reach on 2 errors. They've had plenty of opportunities. Pitch, skips in there, blocked by Melillo, gets away, and the runner takes off. It's going to be a wild pitch, charged to Maury. Now a runner in scoring position. This is a close ball game still here. Newport needs to win this one if they want to have a shot at the division, because even if the Gulls were to win and take the Southern Division lead tonight, and Pittsfield were to not make up their 6-run deficit against Keene, well, things aren't settled yet because Pittsfield has more games to play than Newport does between now and the Southern Division finale, which will be played here at Cardines Field against the Dukes on Thursday night.
And of course, Nick, if you're a Silkworm fan, not only are you trying to stay ahead of the Torrington Twisters, but you're only one game in back of the Steeplecats in the loss column. The Steeplecats have 21 losses, so if the Silkworms can catch him, we'll see Newport here in the playoffs, provided Newport doesn't win the division outright.
1-0 pitch, swung on and missed. Counts even at 1-1. Scoreboard's playing tricks on us here. They had 1-1, they had 1-2, they had 1-0, and went back to 1-1. Morey looks in, has the signs of Milillo, a runner at second. He's ignoring him. The pitch, swing and a miss, strike two, a big cut by Rusbowski. And he's down the count, a ball and 2 strikes. We have an official attendance report. 2,853. 2,853. Will make it the largest crowd of the season here at Cardines Field. Just shy of 3,000. You're right, Mike. 1-2 for Morey. Strike 3 called on the inside corner. Rusbowski knew it. He retreats to his dugout. That's the inning's first out. And Matt Grasso, the designated hitter, will have a shot here with the runner at second. Grasso bats on the left side. He's 1 for 2 in the ninth. Walked, stole a base, scored a run. Or rather, it was a race and a fielder's choice. It was Gallup that scored the run in that inning. The fourth. Single in the sixth. Ground out 1-3 back in the first. Takes the first pitch inside, ball 1. So 2,853, 2,853. Largest crowd of the season. The 13th consecutive game above 2,000 fans. Remains an NCBL record. The 1-0. Inside, ball 2. No team prior to this season, including the Newport Gulls, has ever had even 5 consecutive home night games above 2,000 fans. And the Gulls have seen 13 consecutive now, going all the way back to June 20th. 2-0 pitch. Swinging a pop-up left side. It will trail out of play. Robert Morey giving chase on that one as it bounces in the top row of the grandstands and trickles all the way down, and a bunch of young kids give chase.
Well, you'd think that was a Twinkie the way the kids are going after that ball.
Oh, a $20 bill. Well, they love the souvenirs here. After the game, all the fans get the opportunity to walk out on the field and meet the players and collect autographs. 2-1 pitch, breaking ball outside. Not too many ballparks in this league allow the fans actually out onto the playing surface itself when the game is over, but after every game here, it's tradition. About 600 fans or so will make their way out to the diamond and interact with the players, the coaches, and the staff. Runner at second, 1 out, 3-1 coming from Robert Morey. Fastball outside corner for strike 2. And the count's full.
Nick, on a more serious note, Grasso leads the Silkworms with 15 RBIs, so he's the guy they want to have up there with the runner in scoring position.
He's an average at 324. From the stretch, Morey, the payoff pitch. Swinging a foul ball, fisted to the left side and out of play. Cleanup man Michael Gallick waits on deck. Robert Morey going up against the heart of the Silkworms order here. Grasso swivels in the batter's box, stretches, now stands in. The 3-2 pitch, ground ball hit softly to the mound. Morey looks at third, fires to first, gets 1 out as Mark Mikowski advances to third on the 1-3 ground out. Was hit very weakly back to the mound on a check swing. Not what Grasso wanted, but Silkworms do have a runner at third now. Tying run still in the on-deck circle, though, as Gallick steps up. Gallick, 1 for 3. Reached an infield single, but was erased on a double play. Bounced into a fielder's choice and struck out looking. Robert Morey from the stretch. His first pitch to Gallick. Fastball in there for a strike on the inside corner. Morey features good slider, a curveball, changeup, and a sinking fastball. Mikowski leads from third, the 0-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. He was in the dirt. Chased a splitter that time. It's 0-2. Outfield playing very deep. Kyle Rowe is almost at the fence. Playing in right center. They're playing him to pull. The 0-2 pitch. Outside, ball one. Changeup delivered that time by Amari. Gallick wasn't fooled. Runner at third. 6-3 Gulls. We're here in the 8th. 2 down. 1-2 the count. Maury sets, kicks, throws. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Side retired here in the 8th. The leadoff single, harmless. We go to the last of the 8th. Newport Gulls 6, Manchester Silkworms 3 on the NECBL Broadcast Network. To the last of the 8th we go at Cardines Field. Kyle Connolly, David Cunningham, Joey Manning due up for the Newport Gulls, who have a 6-3 lead over the Manchester Silkworms. New pitcher on the mound for Manchester, Ryan McGrath. Mike Lord has more on him.
And for Ryan McGrath out of Wake Forest in Newtown, Connecticut, this is his 15th appearance, 2 wins, no losses. His last decision, a 3-2 win over North Adams, 3.91 ERA. He's pitched 25 innings, given up 24 hits, 12 runs, 11 earned, walked 15, struck out 16. Opponents hitting .261 against the right-handed pitcher.
Cal Conley is 1 for 4, ripped an RBI double with 2 outs in the first inning, but held hitless since then. Side-on delivery is low and away, ball 1. Submariner is McGrath. Conley struck out in the second, bounced out 6-3 to end the 4th, and was fanned swinging in the 6th. Next pitch is swung on and missed, as the count's even at 1-1 on Kyle. Both Connolly and Gregory actually Connolly does have an RBI double tonight. Gregory was hitless tonight. Next pitch is low. Connolly now has 35 runs batted in on the season. He goes with his 7 home runs, .264 batting average coming into the game. 2-1. Outside. And of course we thank John Raiola for all the fine work he did prior to the game, providing us with up-to-date stats. He calculated all the goals, batting averages, and RBI totals from game 1 of the doubleheader. The pitch, swinging a high fly ball, popped up, shallow right field. Out goes the second baseman, Piacentini makes a catch. And Kyle Conley jammed in the 3-1 pitch, pops out to second.
So Conley silenced by Silkworm pitching after getting that RBI double back in the first inning.
Third baseman, number 17, David Cunningham.
Now David Cunningham will bat. Cunningham, an RBI single his last time. Drove in his first run of the season. 1 for 4, pair of strikeouts and a ground out to go with the hit. The 1-0 pitch. That's in there for a strike from the Submariner, McGrath. Well, I guess it could be called a Submariner or a Submariner. All depends where you're from. The 1-1 pitch, a ground ball, bounce to the shortstop. Rusposki fields, throws to first, gets him by plenty of time. There's 2 away. Keene Swamp Bats take an 11-2 lead over the Pittsfield Dukes, batting in the 9th inning. Time running out for Pittsfield there. So as it stands now, the Newport Gulls are on pace to retake the lead in the NECBL Southern Division. Each team with a doubleheader today. The Newport Gulls on a pace to sweep theirs. And the Pittsfield Dukes being swept by 2 different teams. A pitch, a fastball in there for a strike. 0-1. On Joey Manning, who's reached base 3 times by way of the walk. Also struck out. 0 for 1. The pitch is breaking ball in there. Missing actually, ball 1. 1-1 the count. Pittsfield Dukes on pace to lose 3 straight games now. 1-1 coming from McGrath. Fastball outside corner, a called strike. It's 1-2.
It looks like right now, Nick, the Newport Gulls are the hottest team in the Southern Division, and Coach Mike Coombs, being the veteran that he is, knows how to bring a team along. They're playing their best baseball right now.
1-2 delivery. Outside, 2-2. Of course, low All-Americans won a 5-game winning streak that they carried into Cardines Field tonight. They were shut down. Gulls 9-2 victory this afternoon over Lowell. Sanford has now won 5 straight. They've swept their doubleheader over Holyoke. Pitch, ground ball, chopped foul, third base side.
Of course, Mike Coombs is no stranger to professional baseball, as he played in the Detroit Tigers farm organization with Lakeland and had a brief coaching stint with the Milwaukee Brewers farm system.
Coombs has been an outstanding manager for the Newport Gulls, the winningest manager in Gulls history. The only manager actually to return for multiple seasons, as the 2-2 pitch is foul tipped off the catcher's equipment. Manning just does stay alive. He surpassed 100 wins this season. Was the fastest manager in NACBL history to get to 100 wins. He was NACBL Manager of the Year in 2006. He led the Gulls to an NACBL record, 32-10. Gulls won't get there this year, but they're on a path right now to get 25 wins at least. 2-2 pitch ripped up the third base line, but foul once again.
Of course, I'm sure that Greg Hunt from Torrington would be the winningest coach in NACBL history, as he's had the longest tenure. I believe he's the only coach the Twisters have ever had.
Since 1997. Long time. Every year in franchise history. Greg Hunt's been with the team. Twisters faltered this year, though. 2-2 pitch. Swinging another ground ball, chopped foul, and Manning seeing that submarine delivery pretty well. Torrington at 12-23 did win tonight against Pittsfield. Earlier this afternoon, in fact, 13-23 now in the season. 9 games out of first place. Two-two pitch. Swing and a drive, popped up. Shallow right. Out goes the second baseman on the edge of the outfield grass. Piacentini makes the catch for the out. Retires the side. Newport Gulls go down in order here in the 8th. We go to the 9th. Last chance for the Manchester Silkworms when we come back next on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Dan Mahoney, Newport Gulls closer on the mound. Mahoney's been near perfect this season. As we go to the top of the 9th inning, last chance for the Silkworms. Mahoney a 1.40 ERA, 1-1, making his 14th appearance. He has 5 saves, has 1 blown save, but he came in Vermont. 19 and third innings of work, 15 hits, just 3 earned runs. All of them coming against the Vermont Mountaineers. 8 walks, 33 strikeouts. Opponents hitting just .211 against them. Jeff Cammons the bat here. It's 1 for 3. Reach on an error, ground to a 4-6-3 double play. Single scored a run in the 7th. Mahoney. So I guess in the Gulls Eye View segment, the pregame show, first pitch swinging and missing for strike 1 is Cammons. Mahoney features a good hard fastball, about 94 miles per hour. Curveball and changeup. Cammons, Broderick, and Piacentini. Last chances here in the 9th for the Silkworms. The pitch, swinging a drive in the right field. That's going to be caught on the run by Joey Manning. There's 1 out in the 9th.
And Nick, I look at the stat sheet, and you talk about strikeout to walk ratio. Chase Reed, 45 strikeouts, only 4 walks, 11-to-1 ratio. That is incredible.
Chase Reed did pick up the win. Game 1 earlier today improved to 4-0 in 4 starts this season since that 19 strikeout game he had against Torrington on July 4th. Big story of the season. Here's J.D. Broderick. He's 1 for 3, takes the first pitch for strike 1. Next one is popped up. It'll get back and out of play towards the Gulls dugout. It's 1-1. Newport Gulls lead it 6-3. We're here in the 9th. Newport trying to sweep their third doubleheader of the season. Second consecutive one, as the Gulls did have a doubleheader against Torrington on Saturday, which won game 1 4-1, game 2 5-0. It's the 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball is outside, 1-2 the count, as Broderick didn't chase. Mahoney from the stretch, the pitch. Curveball, called third strike on the outside corner, and the Silkworms are down to their last out. Dan Mahoney looking for his 6th save of the season here. A win for the Newport Gulls would bring them back in the first place in the NECBL South. They had the best record at home, 13-5 on the season. 2 home games remain, one tomorrow, one Thursday against the Pittsfield Dukes. Pittsfield dropping both games of their doubleheader today. Dan Mahoney looks in on Ryan Piacentini. Was 1 for 2, a single walk, grounded out the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike one. Couldn't catch up to the fastball. 3 games remain in the regular season for Newport. The playoffs will begin here at Cardines Field on Saturday. Opponent yet to be determined. From the stretch, Mahoney, the 0-1 delivery. Curve in there for a strike. It's 0-2. The Silkworms are down to their last strike.
I'll tell you, Nick, that curveball complements his devastating fastball quite nicely.
Mahoney gets the signs, comes to the stretch, the 0-2 pitch. High ball one, missed with the curveball. 1-2 and Piacentini walked in the second, grounded out in the 5th, singled in the 7th. 2 outs, bases empty, 6-3 Gulls, top of the 9th. Dan Mahoney looks in. Crowd looks for a strikeout. The 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 called on the outside corner, and the Newport Gulls sweep their 3rd doubleheader of the season, and the Newport Gulls will regain sole possession of first place in the NECBL Southern Division as they defeat the Manchester Silkworms 6-3 the final here in Game 2 of this day-night split doubleheader. Dan Mahoney picks up his 6th save of the season as he comes on in the 9th, gets the side in order, striking out J.D. Broderick and Ryan Piacentini looking to end the ball game. Newport Gulls win here tonight, 6-3 final score. Post-game show coming your way next. Don't go away. We'll be back in just a moment on the NECBL Broadcast Network. This is the Newport Gulls post-game report here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Newport Gulls win here this evening by a final score of 6-3, and Newport Gulls sweep the doubleheader, taking Game 1 against the Lowell All-Americans by a final score of 9-2, and Game 2 against the Silkworms by a final score of 6-3. Mike Lord, tough loss here for the Manchester Silkworms, the game they needed to win.
Well, the Gulls got out of the gate early and often. They got 2 runs in each of the first 2 innings to take a 4-0 lead. And then the Silkworms were able to close the gap to 5-3. But I think what broke their backs was when the Silkworms' backs was when the Gulls got that insurance run in the bottom of the 7th to go back up by 3 runs. And the relief pitching of Robert Morey, and then once Dan Mahoney came in, the lights might as well have started to shut off, but the Silkworms were flat early in the game. Then they started to mount some hits later in the game to cut the deficit to 5-3. A couple of base running blunders early took them out of potentially a bigger inning. And Nick, if the Silkworms do make the playoffs, people have asked me who would I rather face, Newport or Pittsfield. Well, the Silkworms are a combined 2-10 against both teams. They're 1-5 against both the Dukes and the Gulls. So I guess my answer to that question would be pick your poison.
The Newport Gulls defeat the Silkworms here 6-3, do improve to 5-1 against the Silkworms in Southern Division action this season. Mike Lord, where does Manchester head next?
They go back home to take on the Danbury Westerners in a doubleheader. And the Westerners are hurting right now. They're reeling from the doubleheader loss against the Steeple Cats. So it'll be interesting to see if Michael Olt, their all-star shortstop, can come back and play. The Silkworms have had some great success against the Westerners, and they can put themselves in great position tomorrow with the sweep. They're off Wednesday, and then they're slated to go up to Vermont to take on the Mountaineers in the playoff game. And then, if necessary, they would play the Torrington Twisters in a makeup game, I believe, on Friday night. So I think if a combination of the Silkworm wins and Twister losses, who knows if we're going to have to play that dreaded last game.
All right, Mike Lord, thank you very much for joining us here today on the NCBL Broadcast Network. Good luck to your team and their run for the playoffs.
And Nick, it's been great working with you, and I'll tell you, the Gulls look like the team to beat right now, at least in the Southern Division. I suppose a lot of people are going to say Sanford's the team to beat in the North, but as you've noticed as the season goes on, teams have had hot and cold spells.
Totals next on the NCBL Broadcast Network. Totals in this one from Cardines Field. Newport Gulls defeat the Manchester Silkworms 6-3, the final score for Manchester. 3 runs on 7 hits, 2 errors. They left 4 on base. The Newport Gulls, 6 runs on 6 hits, 3 errors committed. They left 13. The game took 3 hours and 4 minutes to play. It was watched by a sellout crowd of 2,853. The 13th consecutive game above 2,000 fans here at Cardines Field. An NACBL record. The win goes to Tom Costigan. His first start since the month of June proves a 4-2 in the season. The loss goes to the Manchester Silkworms starter, Jamil Acosta. He drops to 0-2. Dan Mahoney picks up his 6th save. As the Newport Gulls sweep the doubleheader, they won the game earlier today off of Chase Reed. Picked up his 4th win of the season, defeating the Lowell All-Americans 9-2, the final in that ball game. Reed going 8 innings in that one as Newport Gulls sweep the doubleheader, have now won 4 straight, 2 consecutive doubleheaders, and in a good position right now as the Newport Gulls have retaken sole possession of first place in the NACBL Southern Division. Pittsfield Dukes dropping each of their contests today. 11-2 was the final update from Pittsfield. The Keene Swamp Bats defeated the Dukes. In Game 1, the Torrington Twisters defeated Pittsfield 1-0. Other action around the league, Holyoke Blue Sox defeated Sanford Mainers 10-4. Sanford defeated Holyoke 10-4. Sanford also took Game 2 of that doubleheader. So, right now, looks like Sanford in first place in the NCBL North. Newport Gulls are back in first place in the NCBL Southern Division for the first time in more than 2 weeks. Pittsfield Dukes will be in second place. Those 2 teams will meet on Thursday night. The next game for the Newport Gulls will be tomorrow night, right here at Cardines Field. We'll be on the air at the pregame show at 6:05. First pitch at 6:35. Don't miss it. For now, folks, we'll continue with our Newport Gulls post-game report down on the field. Our player of the game interviews next on the NCBL Broadcast Network. Don't go away. Welcome back here at Cardines Field. Our post-game report continues, now joined by our Newport Gulls player of the game, starting pitcher Tom Costigan. Congratulations, Tom, on the victory today.
Thank you very much.
It was a solid win for the Newport Gulls. A couple errors committed, but they weren't that costly as Newport held on to defeat Manchester 6-3, improves to 5-1 on the season against the Manchester Silkworms. The Gulls have really had Manchester's numbered this year.
Yeah, I mean, every time our pitchers just come out and throw strikes, the one time that we lost against them, we only lost like 3-1 or something, so it wasn't even that bad of a loss. We've just been really hitting the ball a lot lately, and we've been pitching real well.
Now, you began the season in the starting rotation, making 4 starts for Newport. Recently, you've been making some long relief appearances. Coming in this doubleheader for a spot start, you had some of your best stuff all season. Your breaking ball was right on, fastball in there as well.
Yeah, the fastball felt great. I was throwing it for strikes, and the changeup was working well too. So those 2 pitches have been really tops for me this year.
Offensively, the Newport Gulls can continue to get runs home when they really need them to take a lead, and it's been the pitching staff that's been holding that league all season, particularly in the last couple of weeks as the Gulls have now won 4 straight.
Yeah, we've been really coming together as a team. Pitching staff's doing great, hitting's coming together, and it's all happening at the right time. We're all getting ready for playoffs, and we're psyched.
So, Tom, the team has to be really happy right now with this 7-day homestand with just 4 games in 3 days. Two of them all the way out of the way now. Both victories. Win earlier today against Lowell, 9-2 the final. The win against Manchester now. Newport Gulls will play the North Adams Steeplecats, a team that shut them out 5-0 a couple of nights ago on Friday night in North Adams, tomorrow night here at Cardines Field.
Yeah, we're not really too worried about North Adams. We've had a lot of success with them before, and they threw a great pitcher against us. I thought he pitched very well, and I think we'll show up to play tomorrow, or whenever we play him, 2 days tomorrow.
So, Tom, how you been enjoying your stay so far here in Newport, the city by the sea, with your host family, and your overall experience as a Newport Gull?
Oh, man, it's just been awesome. This is a great town. Been having a lot of fun. The baseball's great. My host families, they're some of the nicest people I've ever met before, so it's all been pretty awesome.
So a good experience for you and a good win tonight as you pick up the victory. The Newport Gulls sweep the doubleheader. Thank you for joining us, and congratulations. You're our Newport Gulls player of the game.
Thank you.
That's our player of the game interview with Tom Costigan. We'll be back in a moment and wrap things up next on the NCBL Broadcast Network. And we're back one final time at Cardines Field in Newport, Rhode Island. The Newport Gulls retake sole possession of first place in the NECBL Southern Division for the first time in over 3 weeks as the Pittsfield Dukes dropped their doubleheader today and the Newport Gulls swept their own. Newport defeating the Lowell All-Americans 9-2 in Game 1 earlier this afternoon, in a 6-3 victory of the Manchester Silkworms here in Game 2. Newport improves to 5-1 and wins the season series against the Silkworms. Only have 2 games left in regular season action. We'll be on the air tomorrow night at 6:05 with the pregame show. First pitch at 6:35 right here at Cardines Field as the Gulls wrap up the season series with the North Adams Steeplecats. An off day Wednesday will bring the Newport Gulls right back here to Cardines as they take on the Pittsfield Dukes for what could be a battle for first place in the NCBL South on Thursday night. Again, a 6 o'clock start time for that final regular season game. First pitch at 6:35. We hope you join us then. Newport Gulls back here tomorrow at Cardines Field. Don't miss it, as only 2 games are left here in the NECBL regular season for Newport. Now in first place in the South. Just 2 games to go, and the Gulls hope to make it into that first place spot and win a regular season title for the first time since 2006. We'll continue to tell you that story and follow all the Newport Gulls baseball action right through to the postseason, because we'll have Game 1 of the postseason right here at Cardines on Saturday. Don't miss that game as well. Busy week here at Newport for the Newport Gulls as their regular season comes to a close. A big doubleheader sweep today of Lowell and Manchester for Newport. Back here at Cardines Field tomorrow night. Let's pause for a moment and thank those who made this long broadcast possible. The executive producer of Newport Gulls Baseball and our director tonight, Tom Lima, our associate producer, Justin DeSantis, our on-site engineer and audio technician, John Rayola, a statistician, Shane Donaldson. I'm Nick Lima here at Cardines Field. The Gulls defeat the Manchester Silkworms 6-3, sweep a doubleheader today, and retake sole possession of first place in the NCBL Southern Division. Back on the air tomorrow night against the North Adams Steeplecats. Until our next broadcast, thank you all for watching. So long, everybody.
Will you live for that moment? One pitch, one swing. You see it in slow motion. You count every scene. And keep your eye. Well, buddy, keep your eye on the dream. First base, second base. Go for third, called safe. Well, home plate's 90 feet, but you could steal it in a heartbeat. Keep your eye, well, buddy, keep your eye on the dream. Every small town, red dirt, diamond's got a piece of your pride. Every crack of the bat makes you feel like a kid inside. Quarry dogs and steeplecats, twisters, gulls, swamp bats, Mainers, Dukes, and Mountaineers, Silkworms, Westerners, Giants, All-Americans. It's a NEC